Hello? Hello out there. Hi there. How are you this evening? Thank you for joining. Hey, Broasted KFG. Good evening to everyone, or morning, depending on where you are. Hi, Bella Italian. Welcome, welcome. Hi, Val. Welcome. Hello. Thank you for being here. We have some things to get to because our girl has been unraveling the last 2 weeks, definitely since the last live stream that I did. There are some patterns going on here. Definitely some patterns, and I think it has to do with her upcoming birthday. Yes, good to see everyone. Thank you for being here. Absolutely. Ah, this is the first time you've caught one of my lives. It's the second live I've ever done. So the last one is still up there if you want to have a listen. But thank you for being on this one, for sure. Hopefully we can do these more frequently. How is everyone this evening or day? Yeah, we're trying something new with the live stream. So I've been around for approximately a year, I think, and about a week and a half ago was the first live stream that I did. And we covered a lot of material. Super duper, I'm glad to hear that. Ah, you like my punk subway? With the bricks against the wall, I got the neon going. I tried. I'm not the best at this. Not by a long shot. I barely know what I'm doing. So there has been a lot going on, while at the same time not much going on with our Foodie Beauty. Yes, pink. I had like the letter D for the longest time, like the default D, and it was pink, which wouldn't have been what I would have chosen. So I just decided to stick with like the color scheme. You are. Thank you so much, Jaden Flash. Thank you. Yeah, I have a lot of thoughts about what she's been doing the last couple of weeks in the lead up to her birthday. There has been a lot. None of it has been good, though. None of the things that she has been engaged in are positive for her. And I think a lot of her poor behaviors have been intentional. They are no accident at all. So, what we've seen was that, we've seen so much. We saw her taking jabs. We have seen her going and smoking things. We have seen her put the hijab off, then put it on. Hey, the real Daisy May, thank you so much. Better late than never, right? We have seen her showing us her angles deliberately, not by accident. We have seen her use certain language that's interesting. We have seen Salah, quote unquote, Salah, use certain language that doesn't really sound like him. Thank you, Judge Caddy. I appreciate that. There's been a certain something with her doctor's appointments that I happened to catch, I think, that just didn't make sense. And I think she thinks that we forgot, but we didn't. And of course, we know that BG ran out the door. And yeah, there's a lot to get to. She lives in a fantasy. She does. I think she knows the truth though, but I think she wants us to be the consumers, for lack of a better word, of that fantasy. She wants everybody to believe that the fantasy that she puts out there is true. In our last live, we talked about like Foodie's need to be desired more than her need to be admired. I think she knows what she is, so being admired doesn't really matter to her except when she's in a rage. However, being desired is very important to her, and she wants everybody, the public, whether she knows them or not, to buy into that, to know about that. Yeah, even fast food isn't satisfying her anymore. However, that does not stop her from having it. She's still having it quite a bit. I think she had like 4 meals the other day in a very short length of time. Sketchy, the doctor. Oh, we're going to talk about the doctors and the Ozempic. There is a lot, and the lack of being weighed, all of that. Yes, something is not adding up. Lots of things are not adding up. It's an enigma. Oh, yeah, she knows. She knows. She knows a lot more than she lets on. But at the same time, her emotions are involved, for sure. She does want attention. I mean, she has said, and I apologize for the background noise. I can't control for that. It's been warm here today, so there's more noise in the background than usual. She knows. She definitely knows, but I think at the same time she does want that like allure. She wants that romance. She does have that like wistfulness that maybe this could work out. Yeah. She commands attention. She has said that she likes attention, that she does things for attention. So attention is very important to her, yes. And that she has always wanted to be famous. And she's infamous. That would be more accurate as opposed to being famous. But yeah, she wants to be viewed and she wants to be famous and she wants attention. She's definitely at times told us that. I think she forgets very often the things that she says. So there is a lot to get to. Since our last live, I haven't made a video because my weeks have been very, 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 very busy. But here we are, so we'll catch up. Oh, yeah, definitely, definitely. Yes, please be back. Check out the replay. Hopefully, we'll cover a lot of interesting things about her, or maybe not. I don't know, but definitely have a good evening. I hope you sleep well. And thank you for joining. All right. So, starting off with her medication, we had covered that. You can't hear. Oh no. Can everybody else hear me? Is it my end? Let me know if you guys could hear me or not. Everything looks on my side. And the connection and says that it's fine as well. So audio's great. Okay, great. Good. Good. Javon, try like maybe exiting and coming back. I've heard that that helps sometimes. Is it really low? Let me try to bring it up closer. Is this better? Let's try it this way, but you guys could give me feedback and I'll adjust accordingly. So she started off with the jabs. And that was a surprise because we know that she has been on that before. And at the time, good. Okay, great. Thank you. And when she did that years ago, before Kuwait ARC, she was doing other substances and she was eating her way through it. So it did not take. That same week, or actually when she announced that she was taking the medication, she started crying. And I think I shared in the last live stream that it is my belief that that is because she knew that this could impact all of the special interest content that she is doing as part of a side activity. And I think that's where the tears were coming from. I think she knew that she can't be taking the medication and doing that special interest content at the same time. However, Foodie being as defiant as she is, she's been making it work because we know that she has been making that special interest content given a lot of her behaviors over the last 2 weeks. Now, I think when we saw her smoking, that was an attempt to cut through any potential effects that that medication would have. I think that was like her fear response right there. Like it was her way and her effort of trying for it to not to work. She doesn't want it to work. She wants that audience. Again, if Foodie wants to be desired and if Foodie wants attention, she's getting that from the people who are paying her to make that special interest content. So not only is she earning money from that type of content that she makes, but it's also feeding that other need, the need for attention, the need to be desired. She keeps telling us over and over again how she can get any man she wants. That if she wanted to get a man right now, she would. That she has a lot of people who hit her up trying to get with her. She has been cycling that a lot more frequently lately, and I think that that is who she is referring to. She is referring to these other people. The clots, the risks are blood clots. Yeah, how would a doctor prescribe that to her? Oh yeah, neck lumps. Yeah, she's got the kidney issue. She has a lot going on. Yes, all of that is true for sure. But I think that, like, for her, she's not really considering the health risks, even though I think she did mention that once. I think she's considering, like, the effect that it would have to these other aspects of her life. So I think when we saw her smoking that joint, that was her trying to push against it. Now, of course, she went into her Cartman mode of like, I can do what I want. I'm 42 years old. I'll do whatever I want. She went into that trying to portray it as like her just smoking because she wants to be smoking, but I do think that there is more to it than that. Secondhand, I don't know. She was showing it actually right before I went live. She was supposedly administering it to herself, although I feel like she administered it less than a week ago, and this is like the third time according to her, but who knows? Who knows? Theory of her taking her aunt's med more believable. Yeah, something is going on. Something is definitely going on there with her. Now, at the same time that all of this defiance is going on, we saw what she did with the hijab. We saw how she was all of a sudden, she wasn't sure if she was Muslim anymore because she was arguing with Salah. And the reason she was arguing with Salah is because she felt that it was Eid and he did not reply to her as quickly as she would have liked. Nobody saw the second dose. Yeah, and I feel like what she's telling us is too close because isn't that supposed to be taken weekly? I'm not sure, but like I feel like since she started it today, she showed us taking it again and it would be her third time if what she says is true. Thank you, spectator. I appreciate that. I know, second live ever. I know, I can't believe I'm doing one, but here we are. Thank you for being here. Thank you all for being here. She's eating as usual. She's eating more than usual, I feel. Definitely more than usual. And she made that special trip to get another one of those beaver tails again. So she's like definitely pushing against whatever the medication could potentially do to her. For sure. The night. Yeah, she took it again just now, like right before I came on live. She even turned the camera away because she's like, oh, I can't show you guys, me doing it. But here it is. She took it out of her purse. She took her insulin out of her purse. And she was administering it again. Can feed? Yes, it can. Absolutely. For sure. For sure. She was making it click, but she wasn't showing it. So who's to say? Who's to say she could just, who knows with her? You take Trulicity and is a shot once a week. Okay. That's what I thought. Yeah, it does. But Eden like her with the medicine. Hi, Sulesio. Thank you for being here. Yeah. So who knows what she's doing? I think she's trying to. So here's what I think. I think, as I mentioned last time, that the Malaysia trip that he just like did not want to partake because it's been 5 months since she has been back in Canada. Time certainly does fly. And she has done nothing as far as her plan for self improvement. Not a single thing. Things have gotten worse, not better. She's been giving herself that 1 year timeline where she was supposed to work on her mental health, her physical health, get the Islamic counseling, all of that stuff. None of that has happened, right? Yeah, it could be empty. That's true. That's true. None of that has happened. So I think that the trip got called off for sure. And that she decided to take the medication for his sake, not for hers. So that was all for Salah, but she's definitely fighting it, pushing against it. Now, here's the other interesting thing. She claims that she went to the doctor. A couple of weeks ago, she had said that she had made an appointment with the doctor and that it was for April 15th. Then we find out, or no, let me just say, a couple of days ago, she's like, oh, yeah, and I have a doctor's appointment. Oh, I forgot when it was. Did I miss it? Oh my gosh, what if I missed it? But she had said April 15th. I remember that. And then she had said something about May. So now she's confused as to when her appointments are. But then all of a sudden she went yesterday. Do you guys know what yesterday was supposed to be? Or I'm sorry, the 24th was supposed to be the day that she went to the doctor? That was supposed to be the day that she was traveling to Malaysia. So you mean to tell me that your appointment went from April 15th to the very day that you were supposed to be traveling to Malaysia? I find that very weird. I don't think she went to the doctor. She claims that she did not get weighed. She has claimed that ever since she's been in Canada, not a single one of the providers that she's been to, i.e., the emergency room, I believe, that she went to, because that's the only place she's been, that none of the providers that she's been to have weighed her. And she says she doesn't know why. It's a mystery. Nobody weighs her. They would only weigh her overseas, but now in Canada, they don't weigh her. Which doctor would not weigh her? Not because necessarily of her size, but like she's a new patient. They're going to take all of your baselines, especially if you're being prescribed medication. Like, isn't the point to see if it's working? So how would they know if it's working? Of course they would weigh her. Of course. Of course. Exactly. Every time just about we go to the doctor, we get weighed. Unless it's like visits that are very close together. Yeah, I can't imagine a doctor not getting a weight for a new patient, especially. Right? And she's taking medications. Exactly. Exactly. Claims that she did not get weighed. And then she said that she was going to stop talking about these things when she's online because she doesn't want to make that public anymore. She knows, she very well knows that, and she admitted because now she's claiming that she's 360 something, 369 if I'm not mistaken. So she knows that she has definitely put on weight, especially recently, especially in like the last 6 weeks or so. And she has admitted to that. And I think that's part of the reason why she doesn't want to bring it up anymore. She doesn't want anybody calling her out on that. For sure. Yeah, right? She needs lab work done too. She's on all these medications. She's on, I think, metformin and insulin. Now on this, perhaps other things as well. Here's something else that she forgot about. Remember, she told us that Chat GPT was talking to her about CBT therapy and that, oh yeah, she liked that and she went out and she signed up. This was like in the last week or so. What happened to that? We never heard about that again. So you're not getting weighed. You're going to imaginary therapy that you forgot you told us about. Like nothing is happening at all. Yeah, she's on 3 meds. Yes, exactly. With all of her conditions, because it's not just her size, it's like all of the other things that she has going on as well. Like, we know her eyes might have an issue. She's got the kidney issues going on. Like, there's a lot of stuff going on there, and she's just not following through on it. It's been 5 months and she's been back. She hasn't done a darn thing at all. Yeah, the dosage would depend on her weight. Absolutely. And the thing is, like, she says all of these things and she wants us to believe it. And I don't know who, I think she's trying to fool herself rather than us, or maybe she doesn't want to say anything on live in case Salah is on or listening. Now, the other thing that has been weird is there was a knock on her door a couple of days ago, maybe a week ago. Everything that we're talking about is within the last 2 weeks. And there was a knock on her door and she went off the live, then came back with a different shirt on. And I think it was in that same conversation that she said that like BG had been stressed. And she said, oh, she was stressed because somebody knocked on the neighbor's door. In the last 5 months, have we heard a single person knock on anybody's door? As far as the neighbors are concerned, no, we didn't. So who was that at the door? Was that somebody at her door? Why would she, if it was somebody at her neighbor's door, why would she get off the live? All of these things are happening at the same time. This is not a coincidence. This evening, people were saying that her eyes, her pupils were like enlarged and that she looked a bit glazed. I don't know. Most people carrying extra weight have good sized calves. Hers are non existent because she refuses to move, although she can. And that's the thing. I think it was yesterday that she was out on the scooter. Of course, she was on the road and she got off and she walked for a little bit. And she was actually bending her knees. So I wonder if the lack of knee bending is also intentional for a particular set of viewers. Now, she's been showing us her angles quite a lot. She's been giving us a lot of side views. That was intentional. She was checking herself in the camera while she was doing that. She was checking herself like to see what she looks like from the side. Why? Who is that for? And then there was that time again that she lay on the couch kind of and like we can see like all of her. Again, that was intentional. She knows exactly what she is doing, which to me says that she really does not want to be on this medication. She doesn't want to get better. She managed to show us that she walks with normal gait. Yeah, she does. I mean, even if it's just for 15 seconds, like she's capable of doing it, showing that she's able bodied, just unwilling. That's the thing. Now, that's not to say that her mobility is ideal because we have all heard her breathing, right? Like she'll just get up and like move to her kitchen and she's out of breath, or she'll scoot on her chair and she's out of breath. So that is far, far, far from ideal. But she's capable of moving and she's capable of moving, bending her knees. She is. The apartments have doorbells. Yeah, right? So who was the person knocking? Who was the person knocking kind of like the same week that she was smoking the joint? That's what I want to know. You're smoking a joint, you're being defiant, you're crying about being on this medicine, there's a knock on your door. You're claiming you're going to these doctors, but then you contradict yourself. Nobody's weighing you. You claiming you signed up for CBT therapy, even though what she was talking about after she told us about what Dr. ChatGPT told her was psychoanalytic and not CBT per se. Like, I don't know. She's going to need home oxygen? Eek. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. She would totally have a cardiac workup, I would think. Multiple referrals, absolutely. And yet, none of that has happened. None of that has happened. The whole entire list of things that she said that she was going to do, none of that has happened whatsoever. Now, in addition to all of this, She has had Salah pop up in the chat when Teardrop was not there, and he was using the word hun. Now you tell me, have you ever seen Salah type the word hun, or have we ever heard him say the word hun? I don't think that's part of his lingo. You know who says hun? Foodie uses the word hun. I believe Teardrop uses the word hun. But Salah, does he use the word hun? I don't think so. And that's another, and she's been like in a really bad mood the last couple of days. So it's like you were in a bad mood when you felt that he was delaying responding to you or not responding to you in the time that you would like. But now that he's supposedly in the chat, you're still in a bad mood and contemplating a bad relationship or a long distance relationship. I don't know. Don't read her chats. Yeah, even him speaking though, I don't recall him saying hun in any of their interactions. I could be wrong, but I don't think that sounded like him. I don't know. Yeah, her chats have been, I don't know, she's been cursing out a lot of people in her chats lately. She's been very angry. Very angry. Overall ridiculousness, absolutely. She really is, huh? She defies like medicine at this point. For sure. She tries to be crafty, I think, and she hopes that people will not see through it. She certainly tries. But yeah, that whole all of a sudden had a doctor's appointment that you couldn't even remember if it was in April or May, but yet suddenly it's like the day you were supposed to be leaving. Uh, I don't buy it. I don't think she went to the doctor. And then yesterday, what she was doing, which is also sketchy. So we've got door knock, we've got BG being stressed by that door knock, which was supposedly on the neighbor's door. And then yesterday, I believe it was, she was being really weird about when she was going to leave the house. So her entire chat was like, come on, let's go outside. I don't know where they were planning to go, maybe the mall, I don't know. But they were like, come on, let's go. What are we waiting for? Like, we're sitting around, we're doing nothing. And she's like, oh yeah, in a little bit. Oh yeah, just in a moment. But like, there was nothing that was holding her up. There was nothing that going on which was delaying her from going out at that point in time. And it looked like she was waiting for something, or it looked like almost like that she had a scheduled time to go out. Now, is that because she was going to meet up with somebody or was planning to go get something, or what was she trying to do? I don't know. But it was very odd for her and her behavior, the behavior that we know of. Very odd. Her body language tells a story. Oh, yeah. The things she says tell a story. The things she doesn't say tell a story. The pauses in between things. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. They wanted her to eat another beef, and she did. She went downtown again and she got another one. The same one. What's it called? The triple trip? The one she had last time and made a mess of. Yeah, I think she had that yesterday. And of course made a mess again. This time though, it was like more peanut butter, and she got peanut butter all over her jacket. Yes, so just trust me, bro. And that bro thing, we talked about this last time, she's using bro a lot. Now, there are suspicions that she may be talking to the swordfish. She went on a rage. I believe it was 2 days ago. Again, forgive me if I'm wrong. She went on a rage and she was talking about like all the men that she's had and they were all hot and stuff. I was like, she's putting swordfish in that category, you know? So it's like, why are we referring to swordfish like That's somebody who's a relatively recent part of your history who supposedly has caused you so much harm. Like, why would you even categorize him like that? I don't know. And then if you're not talking to Salah, if you're upset with Salah because he's not texting you in the way that you want him to, or as frequently as you want him to, who are you texting with the big smile on your face when you're on live? Who is that? Like today, there was like a long period of time that she was texting on her phone, like for several minutes, not interacting with her chat at all, not saying a word to anyone, not speaking about anything. So it's just like, who are you texting with? And you look so delighted about it. Makes one wonder what's going on. Now, the other thing that's going on is it's her birthday on Saturday. So everything that we're talking about seems to be like the unraveling and the lead up to her birthday. Now, she is renting a car, and she had said that to us about a month ago that she was planning on renting a car. But yet today, she was going on and on and on, raging about how, the older she gets, the more she doesn't want to deal with anybody. She just prefers to be alone. The only person who she can deal with is Pete's. She wants to have nothing to do with anyone. It's just not worth it. And just like ragging on people and society as a whole. But yet you're renting a car and you're planning, I guess, to do something for your birthday. I don't know. We'll see what she actually does, but this is something that she is in fact doing, getting the car. Is she going to go out? Also, it has been 3 months since the alleged rendezvous with the swordfish. That happened at the end of December. Now it's the end of March and it's her birthday. So her birthday may as well be a holiday, I guess. So we have one holiday and another holiday. And I think she's in her emotions. She's in her emotions about her birthday and how she's going to be spending it. Because this is the first birthday, I think, in a while. Did she go for her birthday? Did she go to Canada for her birthday last year? That I'm not sure. But it sounds like she's in her moods, for sure. She and Salah had a tough day. Was that today? Yeah, she was not happy, especially earlier today. She was not happy at all, but she would not share what it is that made her unhappy. She said that she didn't really want to talk about it. Again, I didn't sit there watching her for all those hours, but the bits that I caught, she just didn't want to talk about, other than the fact that, like, oh, it's hard being in a long distance relationship and how they are so different, and sometimes she just doesn't know. So, yeah, something's going on with him and her. And then somebody asked her if, like, Salah would be getting her a gift for her birthday, and she went off. I mean, I think the question was intentional in order to get her to react that way. But yeah, everything was making her upset. Yes, I saw that about ALR, and I think yesterday she was going off a little bit. So she's in a particular mood, for sure. She's not getting what she wants in some capacity, and that is pissing her off. Now, whether that has to do with her birthday, whether that has to do with her so called relationship, is he not doing his part? Has he stepped back again? I think like YouTube payday was a couple of days ago, although she just recently got remonetized, so it wouldn't have been large. But did he like step back in only to then disappear because the funds just weren't there? Like something is definitely going on. The messy apartment, it seems to have gotten worse. And when she got off the live, it was either yesterday or today, she said that she was going to go and clean her apartment. No, it was today. I think it was earlier today when she was in a bad mood, and she said she was going to go and clean her apartment, and that's what she would be doing. When she came on later, she had not cleaned her apartment and said, no, I didn't do it at all. But it's like, why does your apartment look like that? Also, if you noticed, she was scooping out BG's litter box for a very, very long time. That indicates that she doesn't scoop it out regularly. And I just don't understand. I just don't get it. Milk out overnight, mayonnaise. Yeah. She was asking Chat GPT if she should eat the mayonnaise that had been sitting there for a long time. Like, she does eat all night. Yep, for sure. For sure. Thank you so much. Hey. Hey, Labine X. Am I saying that correctly? Labine. Labine X. Yes, she's been very pissy today. Thank you so much for that, by the way. Thank you. I appreciate that. You did not have to do that, but thank you so much. She's blaming Ozempic. Yes, I heard that too. She was. She was blaming her mentals on Ozempic for sure. She scooted to Tim Horton just now for donuts. Well, yesterday she had a lot to say about Tim Hortons. It was not up to her standards, apparently. And the people who work there just were not up to her standards necessarily. It was quite an interesting discourse that she had about that, to put it that. Yeah, she was having issues with walking in Syria for sure. Yeah, I think it's gotten worse though since she's been back, because now she like utilizes that scooter too. For sure. But it's interesting that she's blaming the medication for her mentals. I think her mentals were unraveling even beforehand. Because again, like, you guys know, if you listen to the videos, like, I look for patterns in her behavior. And everything we've been talking about has been like a collection of like behaviors together that are signifying that something is going on with her. Like in the moment. Something's always going on with her, but like in the moment. For sure. Oh yeah, she jogged on camera. Yeah, she was more mobile in Kuwait, which is hard to believe, right? Because we thought that she was getting less mobile when she was in Kuwait. So it's interesting. Interesting. But yeah, she's very pissy today. But she won't say why. Going to Tim Hortons for donuts. Interesting. Yeah, she's been doing a lot more of those like later in the evening outings, whether it be to go downtown and get her beaver tail or whether now she's going for donuts. It's very, I don't know. I think she's being deliberate. I really think she's being deliberate, like trying to sabotage the medication, or she's not taking it at all and is just pretending to. For sure. Oh no. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. Read that, Broasted. Oh, that's terrible. Terrible. Wow. Yeah. And she takes like, Foodie just takes everything for granted. You know, she's destroying herself. And for what? For what? Like, whether it has to do with her appearance, whether it has to do with her health, like, she is an active participant in her own destruction. She really is. And she's not taking the steps to get better at all. That is terrible, Broasted. I'm so sorry to hear that. My goodness. Just something so random in somebody who doesn't even have problems. And yet here we have Foodie. Just like you guys were saying earlier, she's like a medical miracle. Here we have Foodie taking these long haul flights back and forth for the last 3 years. And she hasn't had like any major issues or complications from it. The sugar intake feels like it's ramped up. Yes, I've noticed that too. And she keeps telling us that she doesn't crave sweets. Before it was a lot of pasta, pizza. Yes. And the sugar wasn't a big deal. Now it's all she eats. Yeah. And I wonder if it's her cravings or if it's she's being paid to go and get those beaver tails because somebody likes to see her make a mess. Because it's hard to understand how you ask for napkins. Because this time she did. She asked for napkins and you still make a mess. You ask for napkins and you don't use them. Like, what is that? Clearly, you're putting on a show for somebody. Absolutely. So that's the thing. Yeah, she was smoking and she took the gummies as well. What else is she ingesting? Right. So gummies, the smoking, the knock on the door, the needing to go out at a particular time, almost as if that she had like a specific, I don't know, appointment or rendezvous or something like that. What else? What else is she doing? Because she's clearly in a mood. She's upset that she didn't go on her trip. She's upset that she didn't get to see Salah. She's upset that Salah is not responding to her efficiently. Her birthday is coming up. It's like a perfect storm. Part of it is not taking care of. I don't think she is. I think she takes her insulin and her metformin like whenever she remembers. She's clearly not on a schedule. Like her sleep is all over the place. If your blood sugar is out of control, you start to feel hunger, which makes it spiral more. She's definitely spiraling. Yeah, I could see that for sure. For sure. There's no consistency in her life whatsoever. And the other suspicious thing is when she's like, "Okay, I've got to get off. I've got to do things." Like, what are you doing? And then she'll come back, but she hasn't left the apartment. So it's like, what things were you doing? You didn't clean your apartment. You didn't clean your litter box. You didn't cook. You didn't do therapy. You didn't like what is it that you're doing that's making you get off the chat and you have to do certain specific things? It's like it's incredible, really, the whole thing. You also think she's upset about her age. Her birthday reminds her that she's a year older and much older than Salah. Could be, yeah. Yeah, because they're like 9 or 10 years apart. And she has brought that up multiple times that she has this like younger hot man. Especially, she especially brings it up like that. And then she also brings it up when she tries to excuse his behavior and when she tries to excuse what happened in the past. She'll say, "Well, he's a young guy and we were broken up then, or we were talking about separating, and he's a young guy, etc." So it could be, yeah, for sure. For sure. Her birthday, he's not around. It highlights like the age difference and that he's over there doing who knows what with who knows who. Yep. Is Canada after her for back taxes that she owes? So, my understanding is that she has a bankruptcy and she has the taxes as well. And I don't know how it works in Canada. I'm not well versed enough to say. But I do know there's like two different pools of money that she owes. And she said she had been making progress on it. And I think that was thanks to Salah because he's more disciplined in that area. But I think ever since she's been back in Canada, any progress that she has made, she undid because she was buying all of these unnecessary things. I would think so. I would think like it's like you're back. They know you're back. You owe this money. You can't get out of not paying it. So I'm sure they are, which is probably why she's making a lot more of that special interest content, which I mean, she obviously has. And people have brought it up to her and she doesn't address it. She'll say, or if she does, she'll say, "Where's your proof? Where's your proof?" So there's a lot going on there for sure with her moods and with just all of her behaviors. And it's just like all of the lies in particular. The lies in particular that she just tries to throw out there and to tell us about. I don't know, because I can't see how Salah would be fine with like her calling him out. Oh, and she did divulge all of the things that we've suspected. I was gonna do a video, but just like everything just got so busy on my end of how when she took off the hijab and was talking about Salah and was talking about his family, she proved every single point that we have been making as far as like his family not wanting her in Syria. His family allegedly he told her that his family said that she can't go to Syria, that they don't want her back in Syria, which is what we suspected. Yep. How his one sister stopped talking to him because they didn't agree with her past and her being older and her having done OnlyFans, like everything we said, everything that we suspected. The childish way, she's always giving into cravings. Yes. Yes. But then she used that the other day when she was smoking. She's like, "I'll do what I want. I'm 42." So it's funny how like she uses her age to justify her actions of doing things that she knows are bad for her, which in and of itself is childish, right? Children do things that are bad for them. But she uses the age as an excuse, as a pass, like I'm an adult, so I will do this. It's like a contradictory justification, is what it is. Like either way, she's just going to, it's that defiance in her to do what she wants and to feed her impulses, because she's right and she recognizes the fact that she is a very impulsive person and how that has been destructive to her life. She has said that many, many, many times, and I think it's one of the few truths that she has said, that she has told us. So it's not looking good. The question is, what is she going to do on her birthday? Is she going to spend it with Pete? Is she trying to reconnect with a swordfish? What is she going to do? How is she going to spend it? Like her family allegedly like saw her, I don't know, a week and a half ago. And the reason why they came and visited her early is because she was supposed to be going to Malaysia and she wasn't going to be around for her actual birthday. But is she going to get the car just to go see them? Like, who knows? And the other, like, thing that she did, which was a lie, and it just highlights how her default setting is a lie, is that she showed us a satchel, another one, and she's like, "Oh, my sister saw it and she said, 'Can I have this?'" And I was like, "No." And then her sister saw some cosmetic and wanted to take that, and Foodie told her no. We know that when that happens, it's the other way around. We know that Foodie walks away with her sister's items. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. That's absolutely fine. But it's like, why the urge to lie? Why the urge to lie that your sister came to your home and wanted your things and you were being cutesy and said no because they're yours? Like, just that default lie. I don't know. Pete's for daytime activities and swordfish for night. That sounds plausible. Yep. I co sign that. Yeah. She embraces her impulsivity instead of practicing control. Right. And that's the main reason why she should go to therapy, for impulse control. Like for that. Hey, not Sarah Lee 358. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, she'll say she doesn't celebrate birthdays anymore like she did last time. Right. And last time she was using the excuse like, "Oh, well, we don't celebrate. Salah doesn't celebrate. So it's different here." She wants to celebrate her birthday. She does. She certainly does. Perfect storm is brewing, you think? Yeah, I'm glad others see it too. Something is definitely brewing there. It's just too many things between the substances, the medications, the rage that she had, uh, her being on the outs, I guess, with Salah. It's just too many things going on at the same time that don't all necessarily fit together. Like she told us that she was off substances for good. She would never. How much better she feels, not like having her gummies, I guess, or wheelchair, whatever it was that she was doing before. How she's never going to do that again. And what does she do? She goes and she does that again. She has said the same thing about her hijab. If anybody tries to take off my hijab, that she was going to like turn to violence. Look what she does. She takes off her hijab herself just because somebody wasn't talking to her. She also has said she'd never go back with the swordfish. Is that going to go in the same way? In the same direction? We'll see. Yeah, she does want to celebrate. Yes, yes, Valentine's Day. Yes, all of the holidays. For sure. For sure. I think so too. I think in her heart she does want to celebrate all the holidays. Yep. Ugh. Sorry about your brother-in-law, roasted. So sorry. That's terrible. Terrible. Yeah, and it all just highlights the fact that she just doesn't value what she has been given. She's destroyed her looks on behalf of people who want special interest content. Like, she's destroyed herself in that front. She's destroyed her health for the very same reason. Like, she doesn't value anything. Her family instability. Yeah, she did have an advantage. She could have. I don't know. She really should be. Yeah, she defies all of the odds and expectations. Absolutely. I know it's frustrating, right? Like, all of these people who do things right, who have no like diagnoses that we know of, and these tragic, horrible things happen to them despite all of their efforts to take care of themselves. And then here's Foodie, who has a bunch of documented and obvious issues and just keeps defying all recommendations. And yet here she is still standing. And that's not to say that we don't want her to be standing, but it's just like, just value and respect your health and yourself. I don't know. That's like a foreign thing to her. So, yes, a perfect storm is brewing. Her birthday happens to be on a Saturday. I think that might have been the same. It was a Saturday when the whole swordfish rendezvous allegedly took place back in December. It's been 3 months. We'll see what happens. It's a timing thing. Was I the one who posted about her talking about pill shopping? Like, Lyrica? No, I don't think so. I don't think I did about her pills. Mm-mm. She's on so many, though. She's on so many, it's impossible to keep track. And then it's like, what is she not telling us? She shares certain things, but I'm not sure if she's sharing everything. We know she's like on her mental health medications as well, which she needs to get tweaked because those are clearly not working either. And for those, you definitely need like cardiac monitoring depending on what you're on. You need your blood levels checked, etc. But hey, her doctors, nobody does these things mysteriously. I'd like to know who these providers are. Oh, she was booted out of Syria. She was booted out of Syria. And when she was on her rant the other day, when she took off her hijab and she was talking about like all of his family's objections, how they don't like her, she pretty much said so. Yeah. She more or less said so. That's why she keeps saying that she can't go back to Syria. She wants to go back to Syria. If she could do that right now, she would. She can't. That's why Malaysia, I think, was an option. I know many feel that like Malaysia trip was never going to happen, that it's something that she made up. I think it was going to happen. A, because of her birthday, B, to meet up with him because she can't go to Syria. She can't go to Syria. She's not allowed to. She could go technically, but she's not allowed to. His family does not want her there. And she told us his family doesn't want her showing the house. And she's confused. And she was like, it's my job and I live here. I live in the house. Number one, it's not your house. You were living there for a few months. It is not your home. It is his family's home. I believe the dad, from the dad's side. It's his family's home. So it's not your home. And if they don't want you to show the home, you shouldn't. Like, they got upset because she showed the kitchen. She's like, oh, and this is my job. Well, too bad. It's their premises. So yeah, I don't think she knows she can't go back. That's why she also says that when she goes to get Julia, that she would stay in a hotel. She framed it as Salah has family problems when it's actually she's got a problem with his family. Yes. She even admit in her rage And I think she had mentioned it before that when people would come over, she would just go to her room and like slam the door because she did not want to socialize with them. And she had even told us in the past that when children were there and they wanted to interact with her, she would go in the room and close the door, and they would be outside of the door knocking on the door, calling her out to come out. So she was being very antisocial. Like, she doesn't want to be part of a family. She just wants it to be her and him being at her beck and call. But he comes with a family member. When you marry somebody, unfortunately, many times you marry the family. And she got them booted out of Kuwait. He went back to Syria. Like, these are all the things that have happened because of her actions. If the Bruce Lee, the little baby cat, hadn't happened, they would probably still be in Kuwait. But no, she wanted to do that. He has to go to Syria. She follows him there and then has the nerve and the audacity to complain about his family and them not wanting her to show the house. Another reason they don't want him showing her the house while she's in Canada is because she threatened to break the house. Would you want your house shown to somebody who threatened to break it? She threatened to break their house. So no, they don't want that house to be shown. Absolutely not. I don't blame them. I think they're in the right on that one. For sure. If it is swordfish, she will give subtle clues. Yes, she will. Yep, for sure. His family could have accepted her if she had not been a jerk. Well, she didn't try, right? She didn't try to not be a jerk. That's the thing. She made a comment about the Rolls Royce guy again the other day. She's like, yeah, and the guy in the Rolls Royce, he also said like about her passing gas and about her talking about her exes. That supposedly he said that. I'm inclined to think that like Rolls Royce guy said some other thing, not necessarily that. Maybe like about her passing gas and all of that, because like she's uncouth. So they don't like that. Why would they like that? You love, let me see. Sorry, my chat froze for a second. Whining about Syria is like crying when your mom tells you to quit touching the stuff. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, she wasn't invited to Syria. She took herself there. We heard him say, I told you not to come. He always found pharmacies to get her meds. Yes, he did. Yup. Yes. So that's the other thing. So supposedly, Salah had gotten her a whole bunch of meds that he was supposed to give her when they went to Malaysia. Exactly. So she was upset about that too. So I guess she had to stock up again. I don't know, but something's going on with the meds. But yeah, I think that's why I also think Malaysia was going to happen, because one of the things that she did say consistently was that, oh, Salah got me like a year's worth of med or something to that effect, like a good amount because it's like so affordable there. She could have humbled her. Yes, broasted. Yes, she could have humbled herself. Exactly. Exactly. She can't humble herself, though. That's the thing. Hey, Noura. Welcome, welcome. Hey, Kendra. Welcome. Thank you all for being here. Thank you. I know I didn't give that much notice, but this was kind of impromptu. I decided I had to fit one in where I could. Nothing has gone right since Bruce came along, and she couldn't help but try and steal him from his mother. Exactly. Yep, since the Bruce thing, everything has gone downhill. But again, these are the outcomes of her own actions. Even though she denies it, she won't accept that fact. And the fact that she won't accept it, that all of this happened because of her actions, tells us that it's true. How she can physically damage the house other than blowing up their toilet, right? Huh. For sure. I don't know, but when he went on that trip with his family, she told him that she was going to break his house. I don't know, was she going to do something to like the windows, destroy furniture? Who knows? Toilet isn't given, absolutely. For sure. sound clip regarding over-the-counter pills she'd take in Kuwait. Yeah. Well, I know in some parts of the world, like a lot of antibiotics are over the counter, but that's like antibiotics. I don't know about, many other things being over the counter, but I believe it for sure. Oops. She deserves whatever hardship she brought on herself. The Syria was the end of her relationship. And she made it so. She made it so because she could not be part of the family. Like they wanted to go and do stuff and she would refuse. She did not want to be social. That's why I never believed, and I know many of you disagreed with this, but like I never believed that she started to go on that family trip with him and that she wasn't feeling well and came back home, but he went regardless. I don't believe that because that would mean that she slept over somebody's house that first day, which is what she wants us to believe. Can you picture Foodie sleeping over somebody else's home prior to that family trip that Salah ultimately went on? No, I don't buy that for a second. She was never part of that mix. She never wanted to go, so he went by himself. The way she portrayed what happened was that they stayed overnight at some family member's home. She wasn't feeling well. He had to drive her all the way back and then go on the trip. I don't think that happened. If you can't stand to be social with people who are in your home and you go in the room and you close the door, how am I supposed to believe that you were social in somebody else's home overnight? Didn't happen. Nope, 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 nope. She said herself the other woman in Syria made her feel inadequate. She did, but then again, she never really interacted with them. And the other day, she said she doesn't know what she signed as far as those divorce papers go. And she thinks that it's something that his cousins drew up. And then she said, oh, it was probably Noor. So she thinks that Noor drafted something that he made her sign that morning with witnesses. And she said that the other woman made her feel inadequate, but then there's this one woman that she has now mentioned probably 4 times, and I know I've mentioned her in one of the streams, who never married, never had kids by choice. But like she always brings up that woman as an example. She got a prescription of insulin in Syria from the ER. Yeah, she did go a couple of times to the ER in Syria, didn't she? I remember certain thumbnails of her like laying on a gurney or something. She really needs to find another man. She needs to find herself. She doesn't know herself. She's not going to find anybody compatible, although I do think like that would be Pete's. But she needs to find herself. She has told us she doesn't know who she is. She has no sense of self, no self-awareness, no core. She needs to find herself. She doesn't know who she is. That's why she acts like a sponge whenever she's around other people, especially people who she is interested in romantically. She'll absorb and take on their interests, their beliefs, and I don't mean that in the religious sense, but just like their beliefs about anything, any topic, like, oh, candy, I have an opinion about candy, for example. Like she'll take that on as her own because she doesn't know herself. She absorbs the opinions of those around her. Part of it is because she doesn't want to put in the effort to get to know herself. Meds made in Syria are not as efficient as the ones in the West. Most of them are smuggled from sketchy places. Well, it was when she took those mental health medications. Remember she told us she took like, I don't know, 50-cent mental health meds. That's when she really, really started like not being well in Syria and having her rages there too. Yes, her chat did tell her to leave Bruce, but she chose not to. How do you get meds crossing borders? Have traveled, you must have all the info on pill bottles, doctors' names, etc. Meds crossing. I don't know. Because they check. They sure check. I know for antibiotics, it really depends on where you're coming from. So, like, if you purchase like antibiotics over the counter from one country and you're coming into, let's say, the US, as long as it's in the package, then it's okay, even though it's not like a prescription because there's an understanding there. But like other meds, I don't know. Like Z packs are like the most common that I know that you could get over the counter in other countries, which is azithromycin, if I'm not mistaken. She needs to find an orphan with no family. It's the only. Yeah, yeah. She doesn't want to be part of a family unit. She doesn't. And in Kuwait, his family made that easy for her because they wanted nothing to do with the whole situation. So she didn't have to be in a family unit. In Syria, it was different. And she couldn't take it. She couldn't tolerate it. She couldn't do the social piece. Oh, it was after a visa run, not Sarah Lee. I don't know. It would depend on where she got those meds from and what they were exactly. And we know she's on a whole bunch of stuff. Hard to say. Crossing borders, they can question a whole, yeah, well, yeah, a whole year's worth. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like the volume makes a difference too. If it's just like a pack of like the Z packs, not a big deal, but a whole year's worth, like she's going to come back with like a luggage full of meds from Malaysia. Crossing borders. Hey, Gorlick's Broken Watch. Yes, live. I know. It's a rarity. Ooh, bad choice of words. Oops. You would lose your mind. Being around family 24/7. I don't think she had to be 24/7, but I think like, visiting people, doing activities and stuff. I don't think it was like 24/7. I mean, life is definitely different there. Like somebody will walk past the house and like say hello or stop by and chit chat. But I think she was like rude to like everyone all the time. Yeah, she didn't consider it beforehand, but she thinks about herself and not much else. She thinks about her comfort. And that's what it is. And Salah's role was to keep her comfortable, whether that was running off and bringing her fried chicken or whether that was tending to her various other needs. That was Salah's role, and him spending time with his family or them having to spend time with his family would not allow her to be in the state of comfort that she wants. Stanley W. Pondu was the Rolls Royce man, Salah's father. I think so. She claims that it was some like internet man. As silly as it sounds, but I think that it was his father, yes. Because it's like, who else would have a vested interest in going to their apartment outside of their building in a car to tell them to put the cat back? Some random internet guy? At night? Mm-mm-mm. Yes, the aunt in the family, not Noor, as far as like those documents, is that what you mean, Broasted? That the aunt like drafted those papers? It's very possible. It was probably an agreement for her never to return to Syria. Probably not divorce papers per se, because if there's no marriage, there's no divorce papers. But like an agreement, like you agree to never step foot in this country ever again. And maybe she knows, because again, she keeps saying, I can't go back to Syria. She will never be able to face herself. It's too scary at this point. I mean, it's too scary, but like it's not too late if she does at least put in some effort, and she's not. Baby steps, won't even take baby steps for her own situation. You know, many people like that. What do you mean, Gorlick's watch? That they do. What do they do? A whole year's worth of meds. Sorry, my chat here on my end is getting a little bit sticky. So, yeah, I mean, she created all of her own problems. That much we know. These are all things of her own doing. Her impulsiveness. She was impulsive with the Bruce situation, and it set off a domino chain. That's why she's in the position that she's in now. She has gotten booted out of two countries. Two. Got chased out of Kuwait and then got booted by the family out of Syria. Yes, I would agree, Klutzy Kate. Her biggest hater is her own self. Exactly. And that is why she needs to have a relationship with herself before she's able to have a relationship with anybody else, because she doesn't know herself. Oh, the aunt in the family was unlikely to be Noor. Yes. Yes, I agree. Yeah, I think Noor is like a cousin or an aunt. Yeah. Noor is definitely not the single aunt. No. Mm-mm. Yeah. It's always everybody's fault if they don't like her. But then here's the other thing. She's been going on and saying, like, well, why should I change? He needs to accept me as I am. People need to accept me as I am. Like, why should I put in all the effort? Why? Like, I'm fine the way I am. No, your behavior is not socially acceptable. And that's not to say that everybody needs to be cookie cutter in any way, shape, or form whatsoever. But like passing gas online, on live, or in public, like that is not acceptable. It's just not. But she doesn't see anything wrong with that. Like belching intentionally, like no, like not cleaning your apartment, that's not okay either. And nobody has to accept that. He doesn't have to accept that. Nobody. So she feels like he should accept her as she is. But then when there are things that are fundamentally wrong, things that you could work on and you could improve, why should he accept that? We're not talking about your quirkiness. We're not talking about your likes or your dislikes. We're talking about like uncouth things that are not acceptable in any setting. What setting are her behaviors acceptable in? What setting are her sitting on a scooter in the middle of downtown eating that triple thing and getting chocolate all over her knowingly because she could see herself and smearing it all over herself? Like, where is that acceptable? No, he doesn't need to accept that. He doesn't. She may have been scolded by her father for showing her half brother's photos online, and apparently her folks called her. Oh, yes. Yes. Called her dad's workplace. Yes, there was some drama there. She didn't want to talk about. I think she's never met the brothers. Also, she probably was scolded by the father. I mean, look, the father, and putting aside their relationship and stuff, it's like she's doing all of these things like online, which are just not. They're oftentimes vile. Sometimes they're breaking laws, whatever the case may be. And it's like, it's out there for everybody to see. And then she goes and like exposes people by showing pictures and whatnot. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if the father or other family members did scold her. Her childhood issues with her father definitely have an impact on her developmental psychology. I think to some extent they might, and we don't know the history of like what her upbringing truly was, because we know that like Foodie is not a reliable narrator. And of course, like there's nature and nurture, right? Because we also know that she has told us that her grandmother from the mom's side had a lot of mental health issues, including schizophrenia and including depression. And then you've got the stuff that with the dad who wasn't there and wasn't present. But as she likes to remind people lately, she is 42 years old. So it's like, at what point are you going to make the efforts to address those things? Right? So there are tools that could help her with both of those things and to help her improve her mental state, whether it does have to do with her dad or whether it does have to do with what's inherited, or at least preventive measures. Again, she's not doing that. And that's where the frustration comes in. It's like there are tools out there to help you and you're not doing anything, but you're destroying yourself more and more. But yet she has the nerve to tell us, like, oh, if I put my mind to something, I can do it. Well, what? Well, you know what? I take that back because she did take herself to Kuwait to marry this guy. So, and that was her idea. Mm-mm. She needs intensive therapy. Yes, she does. Not a medical professional, but I think a big issue is her father's abandonment and how it affects the relationships with these men. I think also like her various addictions, she's got to cure those. And it's not an addiction just to one thing. It is the food, it is the substances, it is anything else. It is her impulsivity, etc. She needs to deal with all of that first, and then I think she can deal with all of the other things. But yeah, I'm sure like the stuff with the dad, which again she hasn't spoken all that much about. Like she's trying to paint him as like a deadbeat. And look, they were young. Smee was what, 17 when she had her. The dad was just like a couple of years older than that. You know, that doesn't excuse anything whatsoever, but like we don't have much information beyond that of how that went or what attempts he made. How she eats, her behavior is getting worse. Yes, and I think that's by design. Yep, and she's spiraling for sure. For sure. I think she's in a panic state. She does have multiple addictions and those need to be addressed first. She's got to cut through those because she was kind of like on the right path the other day when she was like, "Oh yeah, I use it like as a comfort." I don't think that's 100% true, but she was like kind of like on the right path. Like, yeah, you got to deal with that for sure. She likes to say she has no regrets and she's doing a good job being a good person. Do I think she believes that, or do you think she covers how she feels? I think it's a lot of covering that, and I think a lot of that is for the sake of the audience. Yes, because she backtracks on them and she doesn't hold to them. She's not consistent with being a good person. Is she better now than she was in the villa days? In some ways, maybe. Maybe, slightly. Slightly. Do I think she believes that? If she does, it's fleeting. I think she's not self aware of who she is as a person, but I think she is aware of her flaws. But she doesn't admit that. It's hard to admit that. I do think she's aware of her flaws. That's why she tries to project that things are always better than they seem, that she's doing better health wise than it seems, that everything is better than everybody's talking about. Her relationship is better than we all think. Because I think she is very much aware of her own shortcomings, for sure. Yeah, she's all over the place. And if she's using multiple substances, especially if she's getting stuff illicitly, I don't know. Yes, Smee had Foodie because she wanted to keep her, yeah, her dad around. Yeah, I mean, they were really young. We're talking about like a high school mom and like a barely out of high school, just a couple of years out of high school dad. Like, that's, it's hard at that age. But we don't know, like, beyond that, like, what happened. Like, did he make attempts to be in her life? Was he prevented from making attempts in her? Like, there's so many dynamics that are unknown. And Foodie probably doesn't know them herself because she was a child and she only knows what she's been told for the most part. So I can see that. Her brain chemistry, yeah. She's doing a number on her brain chemistry. That is for sure. Oh yeah, I totally think so, Toasty Sparkles. I think she's aware of a lot more than she lets on, but it's very important to her to paint this picture for her to be perceived in a certain way, that she has everything under control, that her health is fine, that the doctors are not concerned about her health, her relationship is strong, that they're stronger than ever, that everything is a-okay. It's that facade, but we see the cracks in it. And oftentimes, like, she'll tell us, like when she was raging the other day and telling us about Salah and his family, like She was telling the truth at that point in time. They don't want the house to be shown. She didn't want to socialize with them. All of that stuff. They don't want her back in Syria. How dare they? Like, those were truths that she was saying. Every so often, Foodie Beauty does tell the truth. Every so often. It is rare, but it happens. So she's capable. That's why, and I said it during the last live stream. I think of all the girls, if Foodie made like an actual effort and like really, really tried, I think that she would have a better outcome than the other girls. But she's her own worst enemy. She is her own worst enemy. For sure. It's like, okay, you take like your various meds. Why aren't you going to get them properly calibrated? So you can get on the right dosages so that you could see the therapeutic effects. But no, she's just probably been taking the same doses that she's been taking for a long time. She hasn't been to the eye doctor in forever. She hasn't been to the dentist. I think she said since like her teens or I don't know, a really, really long time. Self-neglect. It feels like she's trying to protect herself because everything is so out of control. Yes. It's as if she's trying to keep from letting it show. Yes, I believe that. Yes. Yes. She's trying to control the narrative. For sure. For sure. And and she wants it to appear that it, she wants to control the narrative by like, when she took off her hijab the other day, like it was like, oh, her decision. But it's like, no, you're being reactive. You're angry at him, but all of a sudden you're like making the connection to your faith, but you don't want us to believe that this was all for his sake, even though you said that you would do something to anyone who tried to take it off. Like she's trying to appear that she's in control. She's not. She is not. She was still not getting to the root of the reason why they don't like her. She never thinks she's the common denominator. She's the lowest common denominator. Yep. Well, yeah. I mean, we talked about this last time too. Like the neighbors would hear her yelling. There was somebody who came to the door and was like, "What's going on now?" Meaning her rages and her yelling out there happened more than once. That the neighbors had to check in. Only plaque is holding those teeth in. Yeah. Yeah. The other reason why I believe that she was going to Malaysia is because she was whitening her teeth. And would she do that exclusively for herself? Us knowing how she is? No, she was probably doing that because she was going to meet up with him. She also doses her meds herself. Yes, she does. It's very dangerous. Very, very, very dangerous. For sure. But she feels that she knows better than like everybody. All of us, all of girl world, everybody everywhere. That's how she feels. And nobody can tell her otherwise. It's like that stubbornness that kicks in. But there have just been like just too many things going on at the same time. Again, if we follow her timeline the last few weeks, the Ozempic, crying about it, a couple of days later, smoking the joint. Like, why would you do that just a couple of days later? If that gives you the munchies, are you trying to give yourself the munchies? Then you've got the suspicious knocks on the door. You disappear. BG is stressed after the knock on the door, but supposedly the knock on the door was for the neighbor. You're showing us your various angles. You tell us that your doctor's appointment is on April 15th, but then you're like, no, maybe it's in May, or no, maybe I missed it. But then the doctor's appointment happens to be the day that you were supposed to be going to Malaysia. It's just all very patchy, and it paints a very specific picture, in my opinion. Yeah, she seems to feel that admitting she needs help is such a terrible thing. Right. No, we know she needs help. She needs help. She needs help. For sure. But like she would rather listen to Dr. TikTok and other non-professional people as opposed to like, I don't know, maybe she feels she like the doctors are going to judge her. I don't know. Or maybe the doctors are going to put her on a serious plan. That again, I feel that a big part of it is that anything that she will do to help herself is going to take away the attention from the special interest groups that she makes content for. And she's going to feel less desirable because what they do, them paying her to do whatever it is that she does, makes her feel desirable. And she also earns money from it. I do think that's a big part of it. And she doesn't want to mess with that. The whitening strips are brushing for her. Yeah, I think so. I think so. Sketchy, sketchy. I don't know. You don't believe she ever talks to her neighbors? No, I don't think she talks to her neighbors either. Nope. But she was trying to tell us that the knock that we heard on her door was like somebody knocking on the neighbor's door. I don't know. Yep, Dr. Chat GPT and Dr. TikTok. It's like, girl, what are you doing? What are you doing? I don't know. But then, like, I don't know, was it her family who got her those macarons the other day? I don't know. The doctor wants an office visit after a few script refills. How she gets all these meds without an office visit is a mystery. Yeah, and I'm not going to pretend to know how like the system in Canada works because it's much different than here in the US. But I don't know. I don't know how she does it. Or just going to the ER. And nothing about the, what was it? The cellulitis, the boil. Like she was talking about it, allegedly went to the ER, then we heard nothing about it. I don't know. She is playing with fire for sure. Messing with fire, playing with fire. I don't know. I don't know. That's why she wanted to get to Malaysia to get the. Yeah, I do. I think so. I think she wanted the meds from Malaysia. She wanted to see him. She wanted somebody who would take care of her because we know if they went there, he would do everything. And she admitted that when she was raging or crying the other day. Well, yeah, she wasn't crying as much as just like talking about him and his family and how dare they. Like, yeah, she wants him to do everything for her, and that's what would have happened. She had Crest mouthwash on the counter a few weeks ago. Yes, she did. The expensive one, apparently. I think that's her idea of brushing her teeth. I think so too. Take a couple of swigs, right? Makes sense since you don't have to move your arm. Yeah, yep. Just slosh it around your mouth and then you're good to go. At least in her opinion, anyway. It's the same thing with her bidet, also. Same thing. And like she got very upset at BG, I believe it was yesterday or the day before again, for tearing up a roll of toilet paper. And it's like she was so upset and it's like you don't even use it though. Like what are you upset about? And it's a roll of toilet paper. Like you buy junk every single day. And speaking of that, about her purchases, another clue over the last few weeks is like all of her makeup purchases. Now, granted, I could understand if she wants to buy something for her birthday, but like, hasn't she been buying like lots of mascara over the last couple of months? She just purchased another mascara. She purchased more makeup, and it's like, who are you getting dolled up for? What's going on there? What's the deal? Why do we keep purchasing like the same types of makeup over and over again? It's just another piece of just like the peculiar behaviors of the last fortnight. Yes, the bidet. She thinks she gets her clean enough. Yeah. It's the bidet, but then it's like you're getting upset at BG for the paper that you don't even use. Why is it out there anyway? Why is everything the way it is? 4 bottles of nail polish. I thought she was wearing blue yesterday, the one that she originally had. the halal one, and like now she's I could have sworn she was wearing like pink or purple today. Yeah, who's she buying all this makeup for? Like, what's it going on? What's the occasion? What's the occasion? Even for your birthday, you don't need all that. It's just like, again, she's going from one extreme to the other, right? The crazy random purchases are confusing. Yeah. Feels like a manic cycle of hardly sleeping, impulsive everything. Then it crashes and she gets depressed. Not saying that's what it is. It does feel like that. Yeah. Like she's cycling. Yep. It's like, I think I had talked in a previous video some time ago about her being like hypomanic. And that's what it seems like it's happening. Yeah, and I think she bought that satchel herself and all of the other things that she claimed that like her sister was trying to get from her. Those are purchases that she made herself. She purchased like the artwork. It's like, who's going to put the artwork for her on the walls? That's another thing to keep an eye on. Who's going to put it up there? The picture of BBJ and Sam is up there. It appears to be quite high. Did she do that herself? Did she do the cat tree herself? Is the new artwork that she purchased going to get on the wall itself? I don't know. She showed that stuff and you were like, wow, yeah. Like a lot of purchases, unnecessary purchases, but then at the same time, you have your bankruptcy and you have your tax bills. So like what are you doing? So if you're able to spend all of that in addition to all of the other large purchases that she has made, then she's doing well financially. But then the other day she was crying that she's not, and that she looks around her apartment and that she wonders, oh, how she's even able to pull all of this off. I don't know. Oh, you saw her putting the nails in the wall, Bella Italian? Okay, good. That's good to know. That's good to know. She hung the pictures? Okay, great. Great. She managed to hang them. Okay, good. Good, good, good. Good. And at least she did something, right? It gave her something to do. She had to move around to do it. Okay, good. She's putting, yeah. And the other thing is this regarding the artwork that I was thinking of. She has told us that once her lease is up, which is, she had a 1-year lease according to her, right? That once her lease is up, she doesn't want to stay there anymore. Again, she's been back 5 months already. Time has certainly gone by quickly. So that means she only has 7 months left on her lease. But then she wants to leave. Like, why is she buying all this stuff, sprucing the place up, if in less than 7 months everything is coming down and you don't intend to be there long term? Is it just part of like whatever's going on in her mind and she's just not thinking straight? Like, what's the deal? When you picture Foodie trying to build a cat tree by herself, you're reminded that scene from SpongeBob where Patrick nails a 2x4. Oh, didn't she put the desk together though? When she got the table that she said it was going to be for Pete's, I think she put that together, if I'm not mistaken. Her YouTube remonetization has emboldened her. Yes, it has. But then today she was saying she doesn't care anymore. And I'll tell you in a minute why. And with her Malaysia refund, true. Good point. That refund, because we know she paid for everything. She's been door dashing twice a day, renting a car. Yep. Sponsoring a child overseas. Yep. And the list goes on. Absolutely. Yes. And good point about that refund. And I think that is part of it. So the artwork and all of the other unnecessary things that she purchased, her nail polishes, etc., are because now she has this refund from the trip, which I'm sure is a substantial amount. For sure. A house full of college kids couldn't accumulate the amount of trash Foodie. I just don't understand that. I just don't understand like why the place is in the condition that it is. There's no reason. I don't know how one person could like do that in less than a day. I can see how a person would do that in a month, but in her case, less than a day. Oh my gosh. Leave and go where? Yeah, I don't know where she's hoping to go. She was kind of mentioning that maybe she would go like to Cornwall or closer to Cornwall, but I don't know. She is hoping, yes, she's definitely hoping that she can go somewhere with Salah. And I think Malaysia, there was something, Malaysia had something to do with that. I don't know if she was going to try to convince him that they should move there together, because in the lead up to Malaysia, she was bringing that up a lot. I don't want to live here. I don't want to stay here very long. Why should I be here? I hate Canada so much. And all of these things she was saying, but very much so emphasizing that she didn't want to stay in Canada, or definitely not stay where she was. So I do think Malaysia being one of the few places that he could go with his passport, I think maybe she was going to try and just like either do a trial run or convince him, or maybe like scope the place out and see what they could do. I don't know. Or maybe like look into what the legalities would be to live there. It's possible. But you think she's now realizing that they will never live together again. Yeah, I think there's something to that as well, unless he goes to Canada. I think that's what it is. She did put the scooter together. That is true. That is true. Yeah, that is true. So she could do things. So maybe the cat tree, maybe she did. Maybe she did. It's just interesting that she didn't live stream or film it. So that's, I know, what's raised a lot of suspicion with the cat tree, plus the timing and with like that swordfish putting out the video and all the other stuff that he did. The Scooty is a real MVP. It really is, huh? It's a pretty decent scooter. She needs to clean it up and treat it well, and it will treat her well in kind. She thought they will stay for a long while. Yeah, I think they were planning on being in Malaysia for a month, if I'm not mistaken. She's hoping to find. So I do think so, because she has made some comments here and there in the midst of talking about other things. She'll be like, oh gosh, oh yeah, who's going to want to marry me like this? Like, what do you mean who's going to want to marry you? I thought you were already married. Why is that even a question? Who's going to want to marry you? Why would that be on your mind if you're in this solid, committed relationship with Salah and you guys are doing better than ever? Like, what is that about? Right? So, and she's made other comments. The other day, she was saying, she's made some other comment like along the same lines. I'll have to remember, but she made another comment along those lines, like that she's looking, implying almost that she's looking, but she took it back. She backtracked on it like immediately. She has that ring light moving. You noticed it, right? You noticed that ring light? It's usually in the bedroom, interestingly enough. Interestingly enough, in the bedroom. Yeah. Yep, a whole month. Too risky. He'd meet another woman and disappear. Yeah, probably. Probably. I think she does, and she doesn't want him to go to Canada. I think a part of her definitely does want to be able to pull it off and to make it happen for him. But what he would do thereafter, yeah. I've heard many, many, many stories of many men doing that sort of thing, disappearing. Some of them do the long game and others not so long. Right. Why are you worried about getting married when your body's falling apart? Like, yeah, like deal with your issues. And she knows it because she does say it very often, that like, oh, I can't be with anyone unless like I fix myself. Why would anybody want to be with me in the state that I am? And she just means like her overall. So this is why earlier I was like, I think she does know a lot of the truth about her situation, but she wants to portray things in much more positive light than what they are. But there's a degree of awareness there. She doesn't have self-awareness, but I think she knows about the situation. Yeah. She knows. But yeah, why are you? I don't know. Maybe all that makeup is because she's trying to find somebody else. Maybe it's to make Salah jealous. Maybe it's for Swordfish. Who knows? I really hope for her sake. Like, I think, like, the major, can't emphasize it, major mistake that she could possibly ever make is to just do anything with that Swordfish again. You think she's terrified and it's finally starting to have a paralyzing effect. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's all, I mean, she created her own reality, right? It's all led to here. And yeah, it's having a paralyzing effect, especially as far as like Salah and him being her caretaker. He can't be her caretaker right now. And she wants the attention from him. Oh gosh, Mac attack. Ugh. Oh dear. She is very codependent. Yes, she definitely is. I said it before that, and she said it earlier, that how Pete is the only person who she can handle or deal with right now, not a single other person. Pete is her person. She just refuses to accept that. She refuses to accept that for whatever reason. She made the bed, now it's just starting to lay in it. Yeah, she can't run away from reality. No, it's just too many things. It's too many things that are like problematic. And she's trying to sustain all of these like maladaptive situations. And she can't. It's impossible to. There's just too many things that she needs to address. She thinks she's too good for Pete's. Yeah, I keep hearing that brought up quite a lot, that she thinks that she's too, but they're like, she keeps talking that she wants somebody who's going to accept her as she is. She wants somebody who's not going to judge her. She wants somebody who she doesn't have to change for. There's only one person who ticks off all of those boxes. One person. And that's Pete's. Pete's can offer her. She thinks she's too good for him, but yet at the same time, Pete's is the one who can give her everything she wants. Yes, Pete's has been the only one who's accepted her for who she is, exactly as she is, the uncouth behaviors, all of like the weird things she does, her impulsivity, everything like that. It's always been Pete's. Pete's is the one who has been her tried and true, for sure. I don't know why she thinks she's too good for Pete's. Yeah, she does want a jealous man because in her mind, she thinks jealousy equals love, which is really problematic. And she was giving that as advice to people when she was in Thailand the second time, when she was by herself. She was giving that out as advice, that even if somebody treats you horribly, they still love you. It's like, oh boy. I'm glad she took it down, just like she took down all of her videos, but like, ugh, horrible. Yeah. Peace is her one true love. He's okay with taking care of her. He really is. Didn't he? Wasn't he the one who helped her out with her surgeries and like blow drying her and all of these things? And and she even made a point of like how like now, even now, like Pete's mom like will hug her and kiss her and wants her around, and how during Christmas she goes and visits Pete's mom. It's like the complete opposite of her experience in Syria. Salah's family wants nothing to do with you at all. Told you can't even go back to the country, but here you have like Pete's mom wanting to see you during the holidays, being accepting of you, etc. Just like Pete's is. Everything she's raging against, she gets it with Pete's. So the jealous thing is just weird. Her health is spiraling, and as each month passes, her travels are really going to. Yeah. Yep. She shouldn't be traveling in the shape that she is. No, she isn't. She shouldn't. But I think like she feels that as long as she makes it to her destination where she wants to go to, then she'll be okay, because then she'll have Salah taking care of her. And that just also speaks like to her mobility. Like, oh, she wants to like pretend that she's not mobile enough, that she needs the scooter. She got herself to Kuwait. She was mobile then. She got herself to Syria. She was mobile then. She got herself from Syria back to Canada. She was mobile then. She's been doing her visa runs when she was going to where was she going to Doha. When she was going to Doha, she was mobile then. But then all of a sudden you come here and you need like a scooter and everything like that. So she is mobile when she wants to be, as she demonstrated earlier today when she was walking. She just doesn't want to. For sure. If it bothers her that Pete has moved on. Yeah. I've thought of that too, if he's like her backup to the backup. I don't know, because somebody was telling her that like Pete has a girlfriend and she was saying that she knows nothing about that. And to be fair, I don't know anything about that either. I don't watch Pete's, but people were telling her that he has a girlfriend. She said that, oh, well, he would have told me if he did or something to that effect. Yeah, Thailand, exactly, Toasty Sparkle. She made it to Thailand twice. But it's just like, and then that trip to Syria was like a long one. Remember, she had to stop in Turkey. She went to the hotel. Then she had to go to Lebanon. So that's a long trip. She managed it because she wanted to make it to the other side. She wanted to get herself to the situation where she would be with Salah and that he would take care of her. And I think that that's why she does take these long trips because it's going to be worth it to her in the end if she makes it there because she'll be taken care of. And embolism, yeah, I don't know. We were talking about that a little bit earlier, how it's just like almost miraculous and that other people who are in perfectly fine health, have these like tragic incidents. She was purple. Yeah, that second trip to Thailand was, ooh, that was something. She was not in good form. And I think she was sick and I think she had gotten the virus while she was there and was spreading it around. Remember she was coughing and then like the whole everybody in the hotel started coughing too and it was just like spreading and we know she wasn't washing her hands and she was touching everything. Ugh. Yeah, she was sick for 2 weeks. Yep, she was in bed. Yes, she sure was. Partially because she was sick, but also because she didn't want to go outside. So to her, traveling is going someplace and staying in the hotel room. And then she'll turn around and tell us all, like, you haven't traveled. You haven't been anywhere. I travel. No, going to someplace to sit in a hotel room doesn't count as having visited a place. Sorry, it doesn't. Mm-mm. Yeah, she did. I think so too. She was really not doing well. She was okay when she got there, and then I don't know, maybe the flight, whatever. But yeah, she was. She was. Because she was there. It sounded like other people were coming and going, but she was there for like a month, if I'm not mistaken. So she was definitely like being a super spreader while she was there because she just doesn't follow basic hygiene. I know she did. I know it's miraculous. All of her health problems and all of her bad behavior during that time broasted because that was like she was out and about. She was trying to get her superstar on during that whole time. Hotel staff demanded to let them clean her room. Yeah. Yeah, and we know like she left that room in a very bad state and claims that they charged her for the mess that she left behind, which they should. They certainly should. But yeah, she wasn't letting them in to clean, which kind of tells us that it was probably just a wreck of a room. Mm-mm. Yeah, I mean her health has definitely deteriorated for sure. Yep. In the bed and on the balcony, I think, and everything. Thank you, Mac Attack, for being here and for hanging on as long as you did. I hope you have a very good evening and a pleasant sleep. Thank you so much for your participation and hope to see you again. So yeah, Thailand was like I don't know. And then she was eating. Remember, she was like, was she taking gummies? She was taking substances and falling asleep on camera, and she was eating those cheese skins or whatever it was. It was just like not good. It was not good. And it's like the contrast or the comparison rather of like when she was there. First of all, she when she was in Thailand, she was asked not to film in the mall. And I think I had mentioned that on one of the videos. You guys remember she had gone to Bath and Body Works there and they told her she can't film. She got very upset, very pissy, and walked out and said she was going to take her money elsewhere and blah, blah. So being asked not to film is not a new thing. But what's interesting was like Salah pretty much had to like okay her purchasing Clinique when she was in Thailand, and now here she is just like buying makeup that she doesn't need, almost obsessively now. Just like going from one extreme to the other, where he has to approve to now she's gonna buy whatever she wants, even if it's like triplicates or quadruplicates of things. Yep, gummies. Yep, yep. The cheese. Yes, yes, and those skins too that she was eating. Yeah, Bath and Body. Okay, I'm glad I'm not the only one who remembers. Bath and Body told her no, and she had like a fit about it. She had a fit. Thank you for being here, Broasted. Thank you. I appreciate it. Very nice to see you. Have a good evening. Ah, yes, the skins. Yes. Was it from like Potato Corner or something like that? Yeah, that was like, ugh, that was not good. Mm-mm. You're welcome. That Thailand trip. But hey, she considers that traveling. Staying in the room. I don't know. And she has said also about Salah that like one of his dreams and one of his goals was to travel. Now, granted, his passport makes that very limited, but he didn't get what he bargained for out of this whole thing either. You assume those were more designed as a snack, not to have as multiple meals in a row. Those cheesy skin things, whatever it was that she was. Yeah, I would think the same. Welcome back, Sulesio. Yeah, I don't think those were supposed to be a meal either, but Foodie will make a meal out of anything, it seems. That she will. It's kind of like what she's doing now with those like beaver tails. Like it's a whole meal. Like we were saying earlier, that's enough to feed like several people. But for her, it's a whole meal. I know, Toasty Sparkles. I have thought the exact same thing. All of that grease and stuff just like floating around in the body in such large volumes. Because it's not like she'll have like one greasy meal and the rest of the day is like okay. It'll be just like multiple greasy things. Didn't she offer yesterday somebody a beaver tail or something and they did say that they can't eat it? They're huge. Was it somebody who was unhoused? I could have sworn she did and they said like, "Oh no, it's too huge or I can't eat it or it'll do something to them." I didn't catch the entire exchange in detail. Why she had a few accidents while she was there, didn't think about that before. She has accidents everywhere, it seems, and she likes to talk about them. And that's one of the other things that like when she goes on about like, oh, why won't Salah's family accept me the way I am and I don't have to change? Like you keep talking about your bathroom issues all the time in detail. Nobody has to accept that. Yeah, those things they look huge. She likes to talk about the beaver tails that too much. I think somebody's paying for them. I think somebody has to be. Somebody's paying to see her make a mess. For sure. Yeah, they look large, but like she takes them. Yep, for sure. Those folks. Mhm. Yep. And she has said, and I did do a video of this. I know I included this in one of the videos where she has said that, like, oh, she doesn't care if people pay her to eat and they're doing whatever it is that they're doing. Who cares? And that who cares if she has those types of people, and for people not to scare them off because they pay the bills. So she slips up at times. I know her coat now has peanut butter on it. Last week it was the chocolate sauce. Now it's the peanut butter from that triple treat, triple tip, whatever it's called. Yep, covered in peanut butter. I don't know if she will wash her coat. And as far as like her purchases, the other thing, since we're talking about washing, it's just like she keeps getting all of the hand soaps from Bath and Body Works, either because she has the gift card or whatever the case may be. But like we know she doesn't use them frequently. So she's not going through them that quickly. But there's like this compulsion to buy stuff. Like that is one thing I think that Salah did have an influence on her over, like her spending habits, where she was able to do better in that regard and not spend money on unnecessary things or be as impulsive. But like since she's been back, any influence that he had on her has definitely disappeared. She was using a grabber to pick up clothes while she sat in a chair, then sniffed them to see if they were dirty. Oh, that's nice. That was such a bizarre way to do. I don't know any of those things. Okay, so the grabber is, we know she can bend, we know she can move. We have seen her bend herself practically in half. She is bendy. She can do it. So the fact that she's sitting in a chair and using a grabber, that to me is like similar to her showing off her angles and showing herself off from the side while staring in the camera to make sure that everything is captured. I think that is very possibly for an audience. Why do you need a grabber to pick things up off the floor? For what? For what? We know she's lazy, but like, come on, you need a grabber? That seems like a prop. The $200 perfume, she claimed, yeah, she claims she took it back. I don't know if she did, because she was going on and on about that perfume and how good it is and how much she wanted it. And then she flaunted the day that she got it. She was like, when she was like raging at everyone, she's like, oh, and I bought myself a $200 perfume and you, blah, 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 you can't do that or something like that. Like she was going off. But then, like, you made such a point to highlight it and to emphasize it only for you then to take it back. Why? Why? Did she really have a regret? Or did she like get feedback about the amount of the purchase, that it wasn't wise? Did somebody say something? I don't know. I'm not sure if she did or if she didn't. As far as that goes, only because I know she really wanted that perfume. Or maybe she associates it with Salah and maybe she took it back because she doesn't want that association anymore. That I could see. Yeah, I saw she was spraying herself her lady bits with the perfume. Why? Who's she getting perfumed up for? So we got new makeup, we got new mascaras, even though she had just bought mascara. I could have sworn she had purchased several tubes of new mascara recently. So she got more mascara, nail polishes, all this makeup, the lip plumper, the all of this stuff. Now she's spraying herself all over with perfumes. I don't know. I don't know. To the people that like to watch, she has people. So thank you for saying that. Yes, exactly. There's a whole subset of people who like to watch people struggle. Eugenia, I'm sure you're all familiar with Eugenia Cooney, and that was one of the things. She would have many, many, many clips showing herself repeating the same activity. One of them had to do with a folded beach chair, and her struggling to like unfold it and set it up. So struggling to do it. The other thing, which I saw more of, was her with like this bin in her room. And every time she would move it, from like the exact same starting location to the same exact corner of her room and bend over and pick up this huge box. Both of those examples are struggle content. And although Foodie's on the other end of that spectrum, her using the grabber is exactly that. That is struggle content. And some people apparently get off on that. Watching women struggle to do like basic things like move a box or pick up something off the floor or something like that, regardless of their size. Mm-hmm. Comment on a live Victoria's Secret Love Spill body spray is $14 and smells beautiful. I saw her spraying yesterday and looks like, oh, really? Is that what she's been spraying? I know she's been spraying a mist. I didn't catch what it was. Yes, yes. Eugenia moved that constantly, and every time that she did, she would get bits. I don't know if that was on the Twitch platform. Um, I'm not too familiar with how Twitch works, but like she would get bits each and every time. It was always that box in the exact same way. It was like cookie cutter, except that she would be wearing like a different outfit that day. Same thing. Yeah, it is exactly similar to what Eugenia was doing. Yep. Yes, exactly. Showing her body a lot more and making more noises for no reason. Yeah. And that's exactly what Foodie is doing. She's been showing her body a whole lot more over the last 2 weeks. The laying on the couch when she laid back, kind of like leaned back in the corner. And she had the camera set up just so that we could see her in her entirety as she was like splayed on the couch. Who was that for? The side view that she was giving us the other day. Who was that for? Today, right before I got on when she was doing her Ozempic. Again, it was a side view and she was like spilling out of her pants and everything like that. Like she was making no point of trying to cover them up. But then here you're saying that you are married, Salah's your husband. He wants you to be covered, but then you're spilling out of your pants and your shirt, and there's a whole lot more skin showing, a whole lot of you, more of you showing than there ever has been before. So, what's going on here? Who is that for? It must be profitable, I imagine. If she listens to different lives, I mentioned it 2 days later. Tried to zoom in, looks like. Oh, yeah. You're an influencer, Bella Italian, if you mention love spell. You influenced her to buy it. I'm surprised she didn't show herself purchasing it. Or but then again, she can't film in the stores, I guess. So that's probably why she didn't. But yeah, what's all of this for? Is it just because like her birthday's coming up or is there more to it? Hard to say. Or is she just blowing through that refund and is just going to purchase whatever she wants? But the behaviors are definitely different than what they've been so far. Like the last 2 weeks, she has definitely been different. Just going back on the gummies, the smoking, the weirdness, the making the special interest content in public in front of everybody, getting all of that triple treat thing smeared all over her not once but twice. Like there's a lot of intentionality behind a lot of these behaviors. Yes, she's impulsive and she does impulsive things, but then she's also intentional with a whole lot. Interesting to see what, yeah. Yeah, what happens on Saturday? Yeah, I'm wondering too, like is she going to spend it with Pete's? Are they going to she going to rent the car and they're going to go for a drive somewhere? Is she going to go and see her family? Is she going to disappear in the evening and say she can't go live and then claim she was doing other things? I wonder. She got mad when someone asked her what's a lot. Yeah, she did. She sure did. And I think somebody asked her that though intentionally in order to set her off.
like just to push her buttons. Because she was like, what is he gonna do? Send me something, ship it from Syria? Like, what is he? Yeah. She did get upset. But she shouldn't like be feeding the questions, for lack of a better word. Shouldn't be feeding a lot of the questions that like she gets. Like she could have skipped over that, I guess, and not entertained it, but she did, and she raged a little bit, got upset, but she was upset all day today. So something is not right behind the scenes with something. Now, it's either something that's not right with Salah, with one of her special interest people, something not right with Swordfish, maybe, if they are communicating, like some people suspect. The only thing I think we could be sure of is that, like, everything is fine with Pete's, more or less. Like, he's not the one who upset her. But Saturday will be very, very telling. I wouldn't be surprised if she'll either downplay something or like hype it up to make it look like she did all of this fun stuff. But she did say that she wants nothing to do with anybody. She's acting weird about her birthday. Yeah, she is. She is. She telegraphs the things her chat says. Yeah, for sure. Her chat is interesting. You've got like some of the tried and trues in there, but then like you have people who I think are potentially trolls, like strawberries, for example. I can't imagine that a person exists who's always so hysterical. That they exist in real life, who's always so dramatic about everything and over the top. So I would venture to think that strawberries is a troll. Now, teardrop we know is the tried and true. And then there's other people who like fall into the teardrop category. It feels that the majority of them are trolls with only a handful of actual abusers. Yeah, I'm inclined to think so too. I think so too. Like she's got the consistent ones, but then like she'll like who is it? Melly is always there. Tracy comes and goes. She got on Tracy the other day. She was asking like where Tracy is. She was saying like, "Oh, Tracy, we don't see you that much anymore," and was wondering if Tracy has like a life outside of like the Beezer Nation. Meanwhile, Tracy supposedly like on dialysis. Like, yeah, she's not gonna be around that often if the lady's going to dialysis. I don't know. Nina is really sus. So Nina is sus. Nina, and I have to go back. I have to go back to my clips and I have to go back to one of my videos. I think it was the Chuck E. Cheese one. I could be wrong. Nina has been around since Kuwait. People have noted, and I believe I did too. I just want to verify it though, that Nina was kind of being like a little flirty with Salah at one point in time, like when they were still in Kuwait. And then Nina made a joke of like her being the one who bought that first beaver tail and wanting to see Foodie make more of a mess of it. Is Nina a guy or is Nina a girl? And I say that because you know who else has been back in a big way? Ass Cass, otherwise known as Anime Sucks. He's been back. He's been dropping those big super chats for nothing, just like he used to. Now, one would think that he had already learned his lesson based on everything that happened to him last time, but apparently not. So he's still back. Yep, Anime Sucks is back. He sure is. Yep. But he's going by the name Ass Cass. Remember, he used to go by the name Ass Cass when he would get banned? Yeah, he's back as Ass Cass. And he was telling Foodie to move to California So I guess that's where he lives. Yep. Yeah, I know, right? He probably found another credit card to use. He must have. It's only a matter of time until that one's no longer available to him. But Anime is back, dropping those big super chats, telling her to go to California. Yep. But supposedly he's like really, really vile and he had to be banned. He said like some horrible things. I don't know what he said. I didn't catch them because by the time I saw, because I listened to her more than watch, by the time I looked, like the comments had already been deleted. Nina was one of FFG's followers, but got mad when FFG told her not to trauma dump through super chats because she kept bringing up her husband. Oh, really? Really? Oh, good to know. Thank you for providing that clarity, Doobs McBoobs. Hmm. Interesting. Okay, so she is a woman. Yes, with cash, because I know she has been sending the super chats. Oh, I didn't know this part about the husband. Okay. Huh. So it is a woman. Good to know. Good to know. Oh, FFG's followers got mad at FFG. Okay. So where did she start? So she started off there and then went to Foodie? Nina went. Oh, okay. So she ended up at Foodie and now is dropping the money on Foodie. Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. Thank you for that, Doobs McBoobs. Okay. Interesting to see like the path of that character for sure. So she started there and ended up at Foodie and now is dropping the money. Yeah. Yeah. So like Nina and Anime Sucks are like her big patrons over there. She did. Okay, yeah, she did start around Kuwait Air. Okay, so I was right about that. Okay. All right. That's what I thought that she did. Got it. Interesting. I know there was another woman, the one who had sponsored that Cheesecake Factory meal, but like I feel like she's kind of disappeared. I don't think that was Nina though. Okay, so she's a woman. We know Ass Cass is a guy. Hmm. Poor Teardrop can do nothing but talk about her ailment. I feel like I want to do a video just like on the characters that orbit Foodie. Teardrop being one of them. Nina and Salah were yes, they were, right? Okay, okay. That's what I thought that Nina and Salah were. Yeah. Yes, Wanda. You got it. Wanda was the one who did the Cheesecake Factory. I think that was her. I think Wanda was the Cheesecake Factory. Nina was always chatty with Salah, almost flirty. I didn't know what her origins were, but good clarity there. Yes, she's become the ATM machine. Yeah. The lady who offered to buy her the scooter was that. So was Wanda the scooter one? I think she was also the cheesecake one, Cheesecake Factory one. She's got a couple of them. Wanda the wallet. She's got a couple of them. Wanda disappeared after the scooter. Yes, I think she did. I don't recall hearing about her since then. Nina's sticking it out though. Nina's a trooper. There's Nina, there's Wanda. There was an Olga too, but I don't think she was dropping super chats. But she was active there for a while, but I haven't seen her around for a bit. Nina got temporarily banned for the naughty comment with the one. I think it was ECP. ECP was the one who got banned when they had that whole fight. That was at the end of December when she was like, Salah was like, "Oh yeah, we'll go on a Beezer trip to Malaysia," and she was getting upset, even though he was joking because she just wanted it to be a trip just for the two of them. And then that was ECP. Yep. Who was like, "Oh, naughty," and put like, yeah, and was like talking about adult activities with him. The ring light in her bedroom is weird. The ring light in her bedroom is for her special content that she doesn't want us to be privy to. That's my opinion. That's the only way she can afford everything she affords. Issa, who got in trouble with Chantal? Yep, ECP was the one with the flirting. Yep. Even though Nina has done it too, but in a different way. ECP, the flirting at the end of December, where Foodie claimed that she was done with Salah and has been done with him probably another like 3 times since that time. Yeah, I don't know how she attracts these folks. She's got some interesting characters who gravitate towards her, that is for sure. But like I think like we talked about last time, like they see themselves in her to some extent. She cultivates her own following. She really does. She does. She knows what she's doing because when she was banned or when she was demonetized on YouTube, she was saying that, oh, she has to go on there, sometimes because it's like good advertising. Good advertising for what? Because in the same breath, she would say whoever's on YouTube doesn't necessarily follow her on Kick. So what's the good advertising for? Who are you advertising? What are you advertising? I think we know the answer to that. She's culled that list all the way down to only those who can follow what she wants. Yes. Yeah, because she's quick to rage on anybody who disagrees with her. Because there have been many tried and true Beezers who will like raise objections to stuff that she does. Like some of them had a lot to say about Smokey, and I still want to know where Smokey is and how he's doing. But like some of her Beezers like really pushed at her hard about Smokey, about like how disappointed they are with her and like what she does, how like they can't in good faith support her and stuff. So some of them will call her out. But then there's others like Teardrop, the number one person, who will just like co-sign on anything that Foodie does. Anything. She'll find like the angle and the excuse to like be able to give her stamp of approval. It's quite an interesting mix of characters. But the thing is that there have been times, and it happened in Kuwait, and I know I documented this, where like somebody asked her, like, oh, are you going to be on later? She was like, oh, no, honey, I am done with this for tonight. Like, almost as if they're a chore. Her going live is a chore, that she's only in there for the cash, not because she cares about any of those people, which is really sad, in my opinion. Teardrop has been dropping really light shade at has she? Has she? Interesting. Teardrop's probably tired of playing multiple characters in the chat, you know? Because the person who was calling Foodie Hun and claiming to be Salah, Teardrop wasn't in the chat during that time. Hey, Seven Smiles. Welcome, welcome. So interesting. You know what it is about Teardrop? Teardrop wants attention. And she's always trying to get Foodie's attention. Chantal, all caps. Chantal, did you read my Chantal, even though Tracy had done that too. But like, did you hear what I said? Did you read what I said? Like, she wants Foodie's attention. She wants to be the number one mod. Teardrop knows she's not getting. Yeah. Yeah. Teardrop's secure in her position. She is secure. I think, like, out of everyone, I think that's the person that Foodie would trust the most at this point in time, Teardrop. We are doing a-okay. We are simply talking about Foodie's various weird behaviors over the last 2 weeks. There's been like a whole bunch of them. Tracy worries you because she's unstable enough to lose it if Chantal. You think so? I I I don't know. Like, yes, granted, she hasn't been around as much lately because she's dealing with like her medical issues, but like she would come in and like accuse people or like complain that people were accusing her of like horrible things. And I only laughed because in the manner in which she was saying things. Like, oh, Foodie, did you see? They're saying that I'm like the grand master, bleep, 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 whatever. Like, but you think she's unstable, like, to that extent? You know, it seems like she's not the preferred mod. So if Foodie does push her away, I wonder if she would like divulge. Because she has gotten into some like issues with Chantal. Chantal doesn't like the fact that Tracy pops into other people's chats. Now, I don't know if Tracy still does that, but I know that's something that she didn't like. I thought that things had gotten better, but then, like, Teardrop's clearly the preferred one. She comes across that way, but she's also got legit. Yeah, she does have life things going on, I think, with her health. Salah didn't spend time. Salah, I don't know. Something happened. She didn't clarify, at least the bits that I saw. She wasn't going to talk about it, but like it appears that she is upset with Salah again because she said like, "Oh, we're so different and long distance and we're just so different." It's like, "Well, yeah, you've always been different though. Like that's not something that just happened in the last 48 hours." She's been getting mad at Chantal. Yeah, well, I mean, I hope people get like come to, accurate realizations about what it is that's going on with Foodie, and it's not necessarily what Foodie tells them. You think she pays her to pretend to be Salah, supposedly, allegedly? Like, sends her a gift card here and there for her service, for being like the Salah substitute? She fell for a scammer and she scammed him. I mean, yeah, they scammed each other. That is for sure. That is for sure. But you know what? She got more out of it ultimately than he did. She got a caretaker out of the whole situation. What did he get? He got a trip to Thailand and somebody raging at him and somebody like disgracing him in Syria, somebody getting him thrown out of Kuwait, right? He got thrown out of a country. She got a caretaker out of it. She got the better deal. I thought it was possible, but then one day I saw them typing and sending messages at the same. Oh, I don't know if Teardrop is capable of two devices at once or typing that fast. Yeah, it's still kind of a mystery. I know there's like a lot of suspicion with some of like the word choices. Like the other day, like Salah supposedly, I think when they were fighting, he sent her the first message after he found his charger and decided to, instead of calling her, be on the chat. Like one of the very first messages of his that came through, it was just very, very, very proper English and using words that I don't know. I don't know if they were his. It was just a little bit too perfect. Whereas other times she'll be like, oh, yeah, well, English is not his first language. Like that first text, I'll have to go and find it. It was like too perfect. So I wonder. I think eventually we'll find out, though. You know, everything. We find out everything. And he's the handsomest man. She hasn't sung that song in a while. It is odd for sure. He pops up in chat instead of texting her. Yeah. Like, why? When she was with him, she said all he had to do. Yes, she did. I think so too. I have always thought that that was part of their contract, that he pretends to be the doting and abiding husband. In exchange for that, he gets his salary as well as for managing all of her life activities, running around, doing her errands, fetching her food, taking care of various things. And he got his stipend for that. But one of the big things he had to do was pretend that he was the dutiful husband. That's why when the whole thing with Kybella happened and other things happened, she got very upset because that was him publicly stepping out of character. And that was intolerable. That wasn't part of the agreement. So I do think that there was always something there. He was like a hired help, is what he was, or a paid actor for sure. He uses a VPN. She mentioned something about it. He probably does. I could see that. I could see that. She's upset with no gifts from Salah too. Yeah, although like she needs to be realistic, it would be difficult for him to get her anything from there. Plus, I don't think he did last year either for her birthday. Didn't she say that like he doesn't celebrate birthdays, they don't celebrate birthdays, so I think her birthday she's upset because like her birthday trip didn't happen. So it's a loss for her on that front. She doesn't get to see him. She doesn't get to have her errand person. She doesn't get to see the handsomest man. All of that. He messages when he wants something. She's seeing it now. She waffles. I think sometimes she sees it like, well, everything she was saying the other day, with few exceptions, did make sense. Like the part about his family not wanting her to film did not make sense because they have every right to tell you not to film in their house and not to show their kitchen. Absolutely. But like other things that she was saying about them and their relationship, like yeah, that she was almost seeing it. She was almost seeing it. Like yeah, he could have texted you. Did he have a problem with his charger? Like she had a point. Like it's Eid. You probably texted everyone that you see on your phone except for her. That there is a point to be made with that. Now, do we know for a fact what happened with his charger? No, we don't know anything. But like she was almost seeing something a little bit. But I think she also like tries to interpret things in a very favorable way also just for herself. Discernment is not her strong suit at all. He always has an excuse. She even said last time she's not, yeah. But then she quickly folded after that as well. It didn't take very long. Didn't take very long for her to like flip back as well. Mm-mm. I think like when she returned to Canada, there was something about some agreement between them where like in 1 year they would evaluate the situation and see where they were. And part of that agreement was also her working out her mental health issues, getting her physical health back on track, and just like improving as a person and not being the person who she was being in Syria. But she's done nothing of the sort to do any of those things. And these are things that she needs to do whether he's in the picture or not for her own benefit, but she won't. She doesn't. VPNs in Syria, she knows what they are. Healing messages. Now, many people talked about that. She totally started to say she realized that some things don't make good. Yeah, she was on the verge of like having a breakthrough moment, but quickly changed her mind. Oh goodness, you think so? You think it's like July? Oh boy. And that's the thing. She does want everything her way. Every single thing. So it's like when they were in Syria, things had to be her way. It's like, no, you are being hosted. Whether you're married to him or not, you are being hosted in somebody's home. You're being hosted in somebody's country. You're being hosted by somebody's family. You are the guest there. You can't have things your way. If they want to be social, if they want to do something, if they want to come visit their own relative's house, they can do that. Who are you to tell them not to? Who are you to close the door in their face? Like when Salah's aunt was knocking on the door, remember? And she was like, Salah's not here, and was eating on camera and not getting up to open the door. Everything has to be her way. Like they want to have a family trip. No. She wants things her way. And it's like when they don't, that's when she like rages. And that's probably when they would have those big blowout fights. Yeah, her breathing is pretty bad. Pretty bad. Burger King. Ugh. I mean, she says that she doesn't want to do anything. She's just content, just like sitting there and sealing all day. She said it like a couple of weeks ago. She's like, I don't want to do anything. I just want to seal. That's not. That's not living a life. Doing nothing and just sealing, and that's what she wanted to do in Syria. I do think that that front room was dedicated exclusively to her. And I think that is why Salah covered up the windows. Remember, she's like, oh, he covered up the windows because, they so people wouldn't see me when I don't have my hijab on. No, I think that was her room, her dedicated room. Yeah, it's her way or the highway. Like, she's not a person to compromise. She's not inclined to compromise. We saw it so many times. We saw it when he would try to get her to go on walks. We would see what would happen. She didn't want to, and she would blow up. Why didn't she go to her doctor appointment? I don't think she wants to. The excuse that she gave the first time was something about she didn't want a male doctor. And then she claimed that she found a female doctor, but then she canceled it because she doesn't want to go in person. She just wants a telehealth appointment. So she went from that to then saying how she had made an appointment, but it was for April 15th. And then she couldn't remember when that appointment was. And then she thought maybe it was in May, but then she thought maybe the appointment had come and gone and she had forgotten about it. Only then to tell us, like, oh, yeah, I went to the doctor today, like 2 days ago. She just doesn't want to go. I think she doesn't want to hear the admonitions that any medical professional would give her. I think she wants to avoid those conversations. Same reason why she doesn't go to mental health therapy. She just doesn't want to. She doesn't want to do the work. She doesn't want to be accountable either for anything. Foodie lives in a no accountability world, and we see where that gets her. It gets her into a house that's a hot mess. It gets her into poor health. It gets her into destroying her physical appearance, right? It gets her into bankruptcy and debts and all of these things. That's what a life with no accountability is. That's what we're seeing, what we're witnessing. She just doesn't want to have to answer to anyone. And I know I have mentioned like in comments at times that like I'm afraid that this part of the arc might be the final arc. Yeah, no, it's definitely a healthy word, especially to somebody who has like issues with being impulsive and has addictions and has all of these other situations. No is definitely a healthy word. Yeah, I think like she likes to show people that she's on the right path and that she's I think she tells people that she has appointments to get them off her back. And then when people ask, she rages to get them off her back. Like it kind of cuts both ways. What she does is always, and the answers that she gives is to get people to get her up. Stop bugging me about going to the doctor. I have an appointment. Or look at me. I'm taking steps in the right direction. I'm making all this progress. It's the same thing with her telling us that she's on a diet, but then we know as soon as the camera goes off, she's ordering the fast food. Foodie does this thing where she tries to maintain different types of viewership simultaneously. So she does things like when she was in Kuwait in particular, and I know I did a video on this as well. She had she would pretend that she was on a new health journey. Like every little bit, right? She was always like trying something new, trying like fast food funerals, doing all this stuff, but then she would do mukbangs and say like, "Oh, this is my only meal," but it would be a mukbang with like stuff dripping down her face. What she was doing when she would do that was she was trying to retain the people who were really tuned in and interested in seeing her get better while also catering to her special interest feeder viewers. That's what she would do. So she would play to both audiences simultaneously, like, "Oh, look at me trying to be healthy and I failed, boo hoo." So she gets the pity from one group of people, and then she's getting like the validation, the everything she's seeking from like the special interest group of people. She's played that game for a very long time. And that's what she does when she says that she made an appointment, only for us to find out that she didn't. So she's trying to appease the people who want to see her get healthy and everything, only to then come back and like rage, like, I know me better than anyone else. I don't need this. I don't need therapy. I know how to get healthy. Whatever. I was bigger when I was at all the excuses that she comes with. She plays to different parts of her audience simultaneously. Anger is her learned defense, and so is lying. Default status immediately to lie. Anything, the most minor thing, she'll lie. Like the example, I had brought up an example earlier where she's like, "Oh, and my sister said, can I have this?" And I said, no. She asked me, "Can I have this?" I said, no. She never gives her sister things. Foodie has many times showed us, especially when she was coming back from Canada and going to the Middle East, all the things that her sister would give her. We saw like Christmas time, like she got the purses, the perfumes, the make, like she gets things from her sister. The point of that, though, is just like how minuscule of a thing to lie about. Such a like inane thing to lie about. Like, why would you lie about something like that? But it's her default setting. It's like her first instinct is to lie. And then after that, her learned defense, I agree, is anger. She gets defensive and she gets angry and she rages. And for a while there, I have to say she was doing pretty good with the rages. Even in Syria, for like the initial part, she was doing okay with the rages until like the latter part where when they were fighting and stuff. But like she was doing okay with rages for a while, and now it's just like they're starting, like she's having these breakthrough rages, right? We can call them that. Breakthrough rages. So, and it's just funny because she says other people need to control their emotions, but she doesn't do the best job of that herself at all. So she's an interesting one from like all of those aspects. Yeah, growth hurts. Yep. Yeah. And I think like she resists for the sake of resisting is what she does. I think the lying is also defensive. I think it's learned to some extent, where like that is her like initial response. It would be interesting to parse that out and like how that came to be and why like a question immediately gets like a lie. But Saturday will be very telling. She's going to paint like a certain picture of like how her birthday went. But she didn't know what to do and where she would go and where she would take everyone for the birthday. Like if she was going to go to a restaurant, if she was going to go to Cornwall, like she was trying to figure that out. So we'll see. We'll see if Salah says happy birthday to her in a stream. I am curious to an extent. But yeah, she really needs to get it together. She's not doing herself any favors, although I'm sure she would be like inclined to think otherwise. How much will be a lie? Yeah, right. Yeah, right. We'll know by her hijab. Yeah, if she's going to be wearing it or not. And it's just crazy to me because she made such a big point about her faith and how like much better she's been doing since she's been more focused on her faith and all of that. And then the moment you are upset with Salah, the hijab comes off and then you're confused about your faith, which shows us again what we were talking about before. Like she doesn't know herself. She doesn't. Because if everything you were saying was true, that you're doing so much better because of your faith, then why would the hijab come off just because of your spatting with him? It makes no sense. The hijab is contingent on him, and I think yeah, we'll know where she stands and whether she has it on or off. But now she's trying to give herself an out that it's just like if she wears it, it's up to her, and if she doesn't, it's up to her. Yeah, she gets mad and asks why people are questioning it. It's like because you've made it part of your content. You've made it part of your content, is what it is. And it, people question things because like you're inconsistent. Because you present something one day and you go off on like all of these like long explanations and you make it a significant part of your content to then just backtrack. Like, where do you stand on anything? She rage cussed the man trying to explain. It was disgusting how she reacted to him. She was raging at a lot of people. She's been foul the last couple of days. She really has. Telling people it's none of their business about that and about many other things. Why do they care? Why? Because you talk about it. She does have a very complicated concept. Like, part of it is, I think, like, I don't know. It seems like she spent a good part of her youth plopped in front of like a TV watching like movies, a lot of them with like a romantic element. And she feels it's just like boy meets girl, boy and girl immediately run off and get married, right? Boy meets girl, they like each other, they run off and they get married. And she has this just like very fast paced notion of a relationship as it would be depicted on a TV show. TV show's an hour and people are already like married and like, a couple of minutes in because time is condensed. I feel like she's adopted a lot of that or incorporated a lot of like that particular viewpoint, like a bit of that fantasy in it and thinks that real relationships operate accordingly. She's very uncouth, that's for sure. And then wonders about it, why people don't accept that. Yeah, like what is the example of like a healthy relationship? Does she have an example? I don't know. Like, I mean, her stepdad and her mom have been going strong for quite a while. Now, we don't know if it's a healthy relationship or not, or if it's good or not. That we don't know. But yeah, I feel like she wants romance as it tends to be depicted on TV or in a soap opera. then there's like other things too that we don't know about, like the peer group in high school, because that like forms a lot of things too and shapes a person to a certain extent as well. All of those things. Again, she's like not a reliable narrator, so we kind of have to like discern from things that she says or doesn't say. But I think like both of her parents have been in very solid, not solid, but like long term relationships for quite a while. Now, whether they're healthy or not, that's a whole different story. One does not equate the other. You get more bees with honey. Yep, that's for sure. But she oftentimes like is more vinegar than honey. I don't know, but she's 42, she needs to get it together. Not doing herself any favors. Thank you for being here, Toasty Sparkles. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's been nice talking to you guys. Time certainly does fly, huh? There's so much to say about Foodie. Yeah, she is miserable. It is honestly, but and the thing is, she can turn it around, but she doesn't. She doesn't take any of the steps not to do so. She just doubles down and just continues with the bad behaviors. It's easier to do that, I suppose, to just like dig in and continue doing like the things that aren't working for you. And that's what she does. But the thing with her is like she's left things unaddressed for such a long time that the longer she leaves things unaddressed, the harder it is to like focus on them or to do anything about them. That takes a lot of will. And we know that Foodie doesn't have will because, as she told us, she just wants to do nothing and seal. So it's not a good situation. I don't know, but it'll be interesting to see how she is over the next few days because, again, people were reporting that like her pupils were like really large today and she was looking a bit glazed over. So, what is happening when the camera's off? Where did she have to go at a particular time? Why was she so adamant about not leaving the house until a certain time? Like what's going on? Like is she engaging in activities that she knows her chat would not approve of? Those are the kind of things like to be looking out for, I guess. We will see what she does. I know she was going off on Amber about some, but I didn't even catch that, what that was about. I don't know if it was about Amber's show. On the one hand, she knew that, like, Well, thank you for stopping in. I appreciate that. Thank you. Have a good sleep. Thank you for being here. Yeah, she was doing something with Amber. She was saying on the one hand that Amber like said some stuff about her, but she knows that like she was probably told to say those things or something. But then like a day later, she I think is going off on Amber or something. I don't know. So we're thinking for sure Salah isn't around. That's why she's been extra nuts recently. I think that might be it. Um, so last year during Ramadan, we had the Ramadan rages, and appears that history has repeated itself, although to a in a slightly different way. So once again, she gets upset with him during Ramadan when he is spending time with his family. I think the question for me is more like, has he disappeared since they weren't going to Malaysia? Or has he just disappeared like in the last couple of days during Eid and has just been less available? But there's something with his availability that is definitely bothering her for sure. But she made a point of emphasizing that he woke her up, that she didn't turn the ringer off, and that he woke her up. And the question there becomes, is she just saying that to highlight the fact that he's reaching out to her and that things are okay? Because why wouldn't he know the time difference? Why would he like be calling her when it's the middle of the night for her? But then again, at the same time, she doesn't keep proper hours either. So it's just like really, it's just peculiar. But she made it sound like she went to bed at a somewhat normal time, that he woke her up. It's just, I don't know. I think that she was just using that to highlight that he contacts her and that things are fine. But I think there's like, yeah, I think it's whatever realization she's having, whatever he's doing, either being unavailable or maybe he is actively involved with somebody. We don't know. She's not going to tell us that much right now. She's not okay with it. And that's what's leading to a lot of the behavior that we're seeing, like the defiance and everything. She knows that he's a certain way and he doesn't like her doing certain things online. And yet she's been doing more of them. Why is that? I would think because he's not around or not around as much. It's so weird because like some of your chats appear like normal chat, and then only a few of them, not all of them, make it to like the main screen up there. So let me see. And the idea of him mingling with his, yes, female cousins is making, well, yeah, because she said the other day, she was like, oh, and all of his cousins, like he's celebrating Eid and all of his cousins will be there. And um how did she put it? Like dressed and prim and proper and ready to go, like she really does think, I think, that he is going to marry a cousin or something. Because why would you say that all of the cousins would be there dolled up and like ready to go? Like, what? So she does have a certain insecurity about that. And she was talking about today how like she does have insecurities, but that she didn't want to get into them today. You think it's finally settling in her brain that he doesn't really want her as much as she wants him? Maybe. Maybe. Like the realization of it all. But then she'll also make the excuses like, oh, his dad is there. He's not like getting it on with his father being there. and that he's never brought up wanting to marry and have kids. And I do remember him saying something to that effect once, at least once that I caught. Um, but yeah, I think she feels that she's losing her grip on him and that his family has more of a tighter grip on him now. And I think that part bothers her. That he's more like focused on his family than he is on her. Dee Dee was sleeping at Swordfish's house for a month and was in denial. They were, yeah, yep. Yeah, because she said it does not make it true. He probably is living his best life. I'm sure he is. I mean, I don't know now with world events, but I think he was like doing okay for himself. I think he was trying to pivot in a certain way. Yeah, the whole thing with like swordfish and everything, like everything was happening like right in front of her, under her nose. And what did she choose to do? To join in, even though she claims she didn't want to. And that goes again to like what we were talking about earlier, that she will do and take on the characteristics and the behaviors of whoever it is around her. She didn't want to partake in those activities with Dee Dee, but like because like the swordfish wanted her to, so she did. Like, who are you? Do you even know yourself? No self court, no self awareness. And she does the denial thing quite a bit. Just like when she saw the pictures of Salah, she said in his phone with some lady at a cafe or at a restaurant. And she repeats patterns. That's the thing, instead of like breaking them. So we will see what's going on. Her denial is very self. Yes, it is. She should just hook up with the. Ugh. Uh, I think that will be like that guy will lead to her demise. I think she needs to focus on herself, take steps to get better in every sense of the word. Anime, he's up to no good. Up to no good. He just has a fetish that he wants to fill, and that's it. He doesn't care like what happens to her as a result of it. She should hook up with Pete's. Because again, Pete's is everything, all the boxes. He checks off all her boxes. But she doesn't see it that way. Yeah, he is her soulmate. Everything she says she wants, Pete's is the only one who can give it to her. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, we know she's going to be streaming for like hours on end every single day, as she usually does. And she's also making a point of just sticking to Kick, and that's because she wants to make the food content and she knows she can't make that type of content on YouTube. So she's sticking to Kick for the most part. He's got goods. According to her? What? Oh, yes, 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 yes. Pete's, you mean? Yes, yes. Yeah. So yeah, Pete's Pete's can give her what she wants. The truth will come out by summer. She can't keep this up for long. The truth is definitely going to come out by fall. And the reason I say that is I would imagine that her lease expires around that time. So we will see what she's going to do. Because she makes the point of saying that she doesn't want to stay in Canada. Now, I don't know if she only says that because of the hope that, like, wherever she goes, it's going to be with Salah. So I think, like, by fall, we'll have a better sense of, like, more things. Or, but then again, that would be hard if, like, Salah, like, did get married or something and we found out. She's always hoping to reunite. Yeah, I think so too. She wants to reunite with him for sure. I'm telling you, if she couldn't go to, if she was able and she was allowed to go to Syria, I think she would have gotten on a plane and gone there. On another channel, that due to everything that is going on in the world right now, how does he have the ability to constantly reach out to talk with her yet? Planes are grounded. Yeah, how? How? I mean, granted, like Syria's not in the war, like it's in the surrounding regions, but like I can't imagine that like the internet has been stable for him. It wasn't stable prior to all of the events that are going on. So how does he have stable internet to be able to pop into her chat all of the time? It's a bit sus. Right, exactly. How bad it was when she was streaming, but yet he couldn't show up for a while. I don't know. He was, I think it might have been him the other day when he was like on the Beezer channel and stuff, and he was blocking people, and people were like, hey, who's on the Beezer channel? They're blocking it. Like nobody knew what was going on. It was a mess. He was blocking people who were talking bad about him, being nasty and stuff. It was like a disaster. It was him. I think he was hopping in between channels because like they unmodded him on her main channel or something. So he went to Beezer's show or something. It was just ridiculous. So who knows? I think he pops in just enough to like appease her so she won't complain, or just enough so that he keeps his end of the contract, which is probably ongoing. Yeah, I think, yeah, that's exactly what he was doing, ban evading and blocking people. Oh my goodness. It was a little bit funny though. But I think like when they blocked him, that's when he came in through the other channel cuz hey, he still has access, which is like pretty interesting. Like he still has access to all her stuff even though she's here and have broken up however many times. He's desperate like she is. He has a better setup than she does though. truth be told. But I guess, like, hey, even a couple of bucks from her, like, will go far. And of course, she's using Julia as like the excuse, to keep tabs on him and to talk to him and everything like that. Yep, we will see. Just wouldn't put up with it, even for money. Chantal is just that annoying. Yeah. Yep. But she likes it because if that's a way for him to be around, better than him not being around. She's keeping the possibilities open. Kick changed their policies regarding. Oh, really? Brianna Miller, thank you for that piece of information. So does that mean they're going to become as strict as YouTube about it? Which they should be for sure. Because there was a whole lawsuit today about against Google and against, I believe, Meta and everything about self-harm. And they lost. Like they were held liable. So I wonder if now Kick is following suit along those lines. Thank you, Doobs McBoobs. Thank you for being here. Have a great night. So if she's adamant that she's going to be on Kick because that's where she's allowed to make her food content, at least in her mind, and is avoiding YouTube. So it would be interesting if they crack down as well. What is she going to do? She'll be forced to make actual content, which she either doesn't want to do or can't do. Yeah, somebody was saying that they were at the same time typing at the same time. So it's either two, they were either both, it was either legitimately him in her chat at that time, or Teardrop would have two phones typing quickly on both of them. But I'm sure it's possible that he has been in her chat when Teardrop has been also. But it's just like certain language lately that Salah supposedly has been using in chat. It just doesn't sound like him at all. The first one being when they had the fight the other day and he came into her chat to explain about his charger. It was just too perfectly written with words that he doesn't typically use. And then there was also the usage of the word hun from him. I miss you, hun. Like, have we heard him say hun? I'm not sure. I don't think so. I don't want to say 100% for sure, but I don't think we have. So maybe both are happening. Maybe sometimes he is, in fact, there, and other times he's not. And Teardrop is doing her thing. I wonder if like Foodie and Teardrop ever had a fight, if like Teardrop would divulge. He is sometimes in chat. Yeah, just not as many. Right, I think so too. I think it's not as frequent as before. Did I see the stream where she was sorting clothes and some items said she would possibly sell? Who would? No, was that today? Because I know she was supposedly cleaning today and using her grabber to pick the things up. I didn't catch that stream yet. Right? As opposed to donating, especially when she saw like that group on the street the other day who were like collecting and like passing things out to people. The SOS group when she went to get the beaver tail. Why would she be selling her clothes though? She should think of it as the more clothes she has, the less laundry she would have to do because she would have more, like she wouldn't have to do laundry too quickly with a limited wardrobe because we know she doesn't like to do laundry. We'll see with her. I don't know. Okay, everyone, it's getting late on my end, and I have to get up very early in the morning. Google Translate. Whoops. Well, thank you all for being here and for chatting about our girl and all of her shenanigans and her weird behaviors as of late. So, her birthday is on Saturday. So, the next 24 hours or so will be very interesting, and we will see what she gives us. And if it's possible, I will try to do another one of these during the weekend if I can. And I'll try to give everyone a little bit more notice. And thank you all for being here with such short notice. I had to squeeze this in just because my schedule has just been unkind lately. So I really do appreciate everybody here for participating and listening. So all of this is to be continued. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, more, less, or other. Cute name. Thank you so much, everyone. So, wherever you are, I hope you all either have a very good night or a very good day. Thanks so much, everyone. All right, now. Bye bye.